the off. I don't like this destination. I like a transfer to the express line. I gotta get off. Electric slide to the devil doors of life. Things are changing and it ain't the way I like. On the replay, wish I could get a replay. Don't mean to hold ya, but I wanna do over. Gas up the ship, shoot me a text and let me know when it is time. I wanna get off, I wanna get off. 1 star, would not recommend that we go far from here. I wanna get off, I wanna get off.
A music podcast for the culture. Wow, wow, thoughts.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm digging that. I like it.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wild Thoughts.
What'd
you say, Q?
I was gonna fight Captain EO on that shit.
We got Daryl in the house tonight. We got Q Belafonte. We got Mars, man. We got a whole bunch to talk about. Brian Clinton is gonna jump on with us in a little bit, man. We got so much to talk about it, but I want to talk about the first thing, something that I didn't think would be a controversy, which was Lil Wayne was mad that Kdot was announced. Well, Lil Wayne and a lot of people basically was mad that Kdot was announced as the Super Bowl performer. Let me get your thoughts. Let's start with Daryl. Daryl, what you think about Kdot being announced?
Like I said earlier, man, I just feel like if you're a homegrown artist, I feel like they should give him a little nod, you know? But I think it would have been better for them to just like go through the controversy, just have him come out on stage, like you mentioned earlier, you know, like a surprise thing. But, you know, at the end of the day, I look at it like, you know, no one's going to be satisfied, man. It's always going to be an entitled individual that's going to want it his way. And he don't even want to have the overhead, like what Jay-Z doing. Nobody want to do that shit but Jay-Z, you know? So I feel like he kind of beating a dead horse. It's not going to happen. You know, everybody's speaking in and chiming in on it like they want what they want. But I mean, it's going to be a show. You know, if you ain't getting a nod, it's like getting a Grammy or an Oscar. You know, you might get nominated, but you don't get them all the time. You know what I'm saying? So he got to work it out, man. I mean, I would like to see it, you know what I mean? But it's a good possibility I might miss it because I work a lot, you know what I mean? So, you know, either way, you know, but it is what it is.
What you think, Mars? Do you think it was a good move?
Oh, you're gonna want me to go last because I got a lot to say on that.
Okay, all right.
That's right.
All right, well, Quincy, do you think it was a good move to announce Kdot for the Super Bowl next year?
Yeah, I mean, business-wise, because he's the hottest artist this year.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you know, and that's what the Super Bowl is all about: making money, getting ratings. But then again, I get the outrage because I think you know, when the Super Bowl was here in LA, they let Dre have the stage, and you know, he did his thing. He represented the West Coast, so I get the outrage of why people felt like Lil Wayne should have got the call, but I also get the business decision why Jay-Z and then went with Kendrick. But what I'm curious is he really about to have 70,000 people calling this motherfucker a pedophile?
I think it's gonna happen. Bro.
Like, does he perform?
But the highlight gonna be wop. Yeah, that's gonna be the highest part.
I mean, does he perform that? Does he switch the lyrics a little bit? Because that's kind of vicious.
What he'll probably do is certain parts of the song, the audience will say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like, damn, like you got the Super Bowl calling me a pedophile.
No.
Might have to fight this dude.
No. Q, don't do that. Don't do that. Because this is the same motherfucker like 2-3 months ago that was pestering, like, when you gonna drop. No, don't show no sign of mercy for that motherfucker. He called for this. He wanted the triple entendres. He wanted shit that was over his head. He got what he asked for. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I mean, I think this might be the most. What? Like we thought 50 killed Ja Rule brand. I mean, this shit is right here diabolical.
He murdered him, bro.
I mean, this is Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th overkill when Jason just
No, this is
like
this is
damn,
not
like
overkill. No, this is not overkill because when Drake was doing that overkill to me, I didn't see anyone saying anything.
I get
No,
that, but
no,
really,
Yeah.
you could have
no,
at
no.
the Super Bowl halftime, people gonna be yelling out, "This nigga's a pedophile."
Hey man, like you said.
Well,
be
I think
careful what you
they'll
ask for.
probably for one, because you know how they've been super trying to be TV friendly since the Janet Jackson titty. I think
it's gonna be a delay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna either be a delay or they're gonna blank out certain parts, or he might stop the song before it get to. I don't know, because you gotta end it with A minor though. That's the thing.
Yeah, A minor.
Just from a show aspect, you kind of gotta end the song there to go to the next tune. I'm talking like just strictly, as a musician, putting shows together, show transition, Super Bowl, your biggest show. I don't know how you don't end it with A minor so the whole crowd can
You
sing.
have to. Yeah,
Like,
you definitely have to.
Kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, where else would you end it? That would give that kind of effect.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I'm waiting on that wop, 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 wop. That's what I'm waiting on.
Because
Like go nuts when that shit come on.
Because I don't think he can avoid not performing it. I think he has to perform it.
He has to perform.
Yeah, it's the biggest song of the summer. He has to perform. Pop, you said you got something to say about it? Well, Pop wanted to say something, y'all. What's the question?
When you said they dropped is it too early for them to announce the fact that Kendrick?
He wanted to know, was it too early for them? When I asked, was it too early for them to announce it? Yeah,
My reply is that yes, it's a good time because they get a chance to get all the bullshit and pushback out the way kind of for the Super Bowl and everything.
It's the build up. Yeah.
Yeah, so Pop said he think it's a good idea they dropped it now so they could do the build up, they can get all the bullshit out the way, deal with all the controversy now. It'll all be dead by the time. Yeah, by the time. And it's funny because it's like every time you think Shannon said, who smoked Detective Key? It ain't me. Who smoked Detective Key going on?
Well, that's my shit. That's my shit in the office.
Hey, cool part about it. I was like, I think that was mine. Like, I think it's mine too.
But yeah,
that motherfucker annoying too.
Every time you think Kendra is dying down, something else happens to get his PR back up without him even doing it. Like his Super Bowl announcement, first of all, was super dope. The way he did it with the little video
the
on
flag,
the American flag. Like I thought that was super smart to do it that way. And then after that, the controversy, which is gonna keep his name burning, in the zeitgeist for a little bit. Then he drops the song. As a matter of fact, did y'all hear his new song? Let the Party Die.
Are you talking about with the black Air Force Ones?
Man, so
it's methodical too. Like you
I don't know if y'all had to it. I don't know if y'all had a chance to listen to "Let the Party Die," but it feels like there are severe parallels to what's going on with Diddy right now and what he was talking about in that song. Or am I tripping? Am I reaching? Or did it feel like he was speaking to this exact situation with some of the things he was talking about in Let the Party Die? Mars, I want to hear from you on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There's a lot of parallel. I think also he was speaking to the state of the industry and breaking down, everything that's going on. All those, let me not curse, all those people that have brought down the value of hip hop and made it so bubblegum and disgusting. You're looking at the academics, all basically, yes, I agree to what you were saying, Damon. You're absolutely spot on. He spoke to the nature of what was going on.
And we talked about this when we was talking about the Drake battle, Mars. I don't know if you remember this. Remember when I said Kendrick isn't just battling Drake.
No,
he's battling the idea of Drake. Remember I said that back then? I said he's battling the idea of a Drake. Like, so the overkill ain't about just killing Drake. It's about killing that type of artist, is what we said back then. But now I feel like when you listen to Watch the Party Die, now he's speaking directly to that, right? To that piece of the culture. You know what I mean? Like, Pandora said, I think he is speaking in general about the industry. So much debauchery, Diddy just fits. That could be it. And Shannon said, Lecrae and D have a response. I heard both. If y'all heard, because you know he mentioned Kendrick mentioned Lecrae in his record and Let the Party Die. And Lecrae came back, and Lecrae's response
Lecrae hard.
is amazing, bro.
Yeah, I gotta listen. I didn't know that, but Lecrae hard though.
If y'all get a chance, listen to his response to Kendrick's Let the Party Die. The response is insane. He's killing it. He's doing Lecrae, but the beat is crazy because he didn't use the same beat as Kendrick. I think he did a great job, but I don't know, man. Like I said, it's just Kendrick is being very brilliant and very strategic at all of his moves right now. And even speaking, like I said, at first I thought he was just trying to like get Drake out of here, but now I feel like he's trying to get all of that type of fakeness out of the culture, right? Like he's trying to, or not even get it out of the culture, just bring some more to the culture. Yeah, shift it.
He's bringing it back to what it is, the authenticity of what it is, which is music, concept, lyrics, production value, as opposed to, again, the bubble.
Belt the ass. My bad. Belt the
ass. That's hilarious.
No, he is. Kdot putting belt to ass, and it's like it ain't just for Drake no more. I think he's saying like, all right, now we finna talk about all the terrible shit in hip hop. We finna talk about all the like things that are killing the culture. Because for a minute it really felt like the culture was going straight downhill. There was no balance. Because I always told people, I said, look, we've always had like the street shit in hip hop, but for like I tell people all the time, I said what was different was like for every NWA, there was a De La Soul, right? For every Snoop Dogg, there was a Common. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like for every, and Cube was like the mixture of both, but I feel like we got to a point in the place we didn't have that balance anymore. You know what I mean? And I feel like if we just had all of the low vibrational shit was like on the airwaves, that's all that was popping, that was all that was getting play. And Brian, I want to talk to you about this because I know you more of the educated brother, as we like to say, from New Jack City. But as somebody who's like, you come up in like the 96 era of hip hop, like all the way till now, what do you think was some of that shift that turned it to having such a conscientious deficit? Because that's what I think. We just had like a deficit of consciousness in the music.
I have my own speculations that, did you guys ever hear about that meeting with those executives about what they were going to do and how they were going to distribute the money, and like, we're only going to fund this type of music?
Yes.
Like, it came to a point to where once everything that I think that the powers that be, I may sound like a conspiracy theorist. I'm not putting a title on it, but at some point in time, our music is not supposed to be uplifting us. So, we can go back as far back as James Brown with Black and I'm Proud. Like, they were sitting back watching white kids dancing to fucking James Brown and shit like that. And it was like, they can't allow us to manipulate the system. Manipulate the world with our own soul. So they got to put a little cut in there. It's like taking pure cocaine and I'm going to cut it with some baking soda. And they took our music and they started cutting it and they cut it and they cut it. And then, all it takes is for one, it's like everything started in social media we didn't have all that back then. So now things are different. It's like they're not concerned about like the feeling you had when you heard that music and the time period you were at and who you were around, who you went to school with, what made sense to you. Now it's like, I don't know. I can't even relate to it no more. I think I'm out of touch. You're a music person. I stopped liking music after a certain while. Like after 96, around the time Tupac died. How you doing, Stephanie? That's around the time Tupac died, right? So it was like, to be honest with you, I hadn't listened to nothing from Tupac until I listened to All Eyes on Me or whatever. I don't know if he died by that time, but whatever CD it was right before he died, I heard. But once he died, I went back and started listening to music. Jay-Z had a quick little run around that time. It was a nice little era. I liked Jay-Z back then. This is back before he became, before all that other stuff. It was still good back then. I don't know what the hell happened, bro. It was a combination of things, a combination of bitchery and.
Well, it's funny that you brought up that meeting. And just for everybody who don't know, Quincy is our age, but if you look in this nigga's musical Rolodex, you're gonna think he my pop's age.
Damn.
Quincy, like the old school, like
old school.
Yeah,
This
Quincy
guy,
like
this guy right here, Belafonte. This guy Quincy.
Yeah.
How you
He
doing,
don't
man?
fuck
How you
with,
doing?
yeah, he fuck with the Charlie Wilsons, the New Edition. You know,
Yeah.
you'll be hard pressed to see him banging some Future.
Oh wow.
My old ass be trying to stay young. I don't be listening to none of that shit. I be trying to stay young.
Hey, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man,
be.
I think my playlist don't go past shit 2000.
Oh.
Maybe
Yeah, 02.
2005.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Oh, wow.
I still bump all 90s hip hop. I haven't. I'm still.
And you know, and so, but there's a lot of
DJ
people
Queen.
who feel like, I would say, there's a lot of people who feel like Quincy. Like I know a lot of people who really don't bump shit past like the early 2000s. Like maybe Nelly was like the end for people putting new shit in their playlist. But I'm gonna talk to Dale in a minute because he said he liked new shit, so I want to talk to him about that. But between me and Mars, we can tell you some of the shit you talking about, Brian, because Mars, a lot of y'all don't know, when I was at Sony, Mars worked at Sony in marketing while we was there. That's how we met. He was our marketing guy.
Okay.
He was our marketing guy when we was signing Sony. And the racist shit that we dealt with being on the label, oh yeah, the racist shit we dealt with, because you know, we were black hip hop rock band, right? So we would do shit like, and this is not a fake story, this is not exaggerated, this is like a true story, and Mars was right there to attest to us, sitting there with them executives. We was a band that didn't even have a record out, and we had like 5,000 to 10,000 white kids showing up to our shows. And we go back to the label like, look, yeah, we showing them videos like, yo, this is the kind of kids we got come out to our shows. Just put a little bit behind us, and we'll blow this shit out the water. And you know what they said? One, they said, where are the black kids? Then they said, y'all don't cuss enough in y'all records.
You lying, bro?
Mars, am I lying?
I wouldn't believe that. That's crazy.
But here's the
They
thing
said that shit
that
to you with a straight face.
With a straight ass face, like where y'all don't cuss enough in y'all record. Like where's the edge? Where, yeah, where's
but
the
it,
straight edge in y'all records?
Hey,
But-
that nigga sound
but
like
then-
Trusted Jones from CB4.
but the funny thing, Dave, is that you know, even our black counterparts, it was shocking the lack of support and the shit that was being said as well.
Yeah, because our black counterparts that was in the label, they just was like, we don't get this shit, this black rock shit, we don't understand it. But then they wouldn't let us go to the rock department, who actually wanted us. The rock department wanted us to come over there with them. They're like, we know exactly what to do with y'all. But they was like, their egos wouldn't let us go over there because they're like, nah, if we failing and then they make it a big thing, we make it good, we look bad. So they wouldn't let us go. You know what I'm saying? Like when I tell you, we sat in that meeting and they was literally talking to us about like, basically they're saying, why isn't our shit stereotypical? Like why we didn't dress like the rest of the rappers on the label, why we weren't
Why aren't you a porch monkey? Is basically what they're
pretty much. And I'm like I said, I'm telling you, we literally showing videos. We're on tour and we showing video like, look at these kids going crazy and we don't even have a record out. Like they just either heard the song on Madden or NBA Live. Like this is all just, or they just came to the show and loved us from what they saw here at the show. Like, so we thinking we gonna go back to the label, they're gonna be pumped because we pulling 5,000 to 10,000 people at our shows without having a record out, without no marketing dollars, and they was just like, "No, where the black kids at? We don't see enough black kids in the audience."
You that a bitch? That's crazy.
Why y'all not cursing in y'all records? Like I don't hear no cursing.
That shit fucked me up.
I have a quick
They want to
confession.
strip you down.
I just have a quick confession. See,
Yeah.
I'm not, I got a little porch monkey in me, right? So it's like a cup. It's no, for real. It's like certain real music. It's like, and I think I can go back as far as the weight room. Remember in the weight room?
Yep.
Now, see, like, one thing about Earl before he died, rest in peace, blah, blah, blah. He always kept some hip hop in the background, right? And so it's like, in your motivational situation when you're trying to work out, sometimes you want to hear something that puts you in a different mode. Like I got my jazz mode. I don't want to hear no words. I got my other mode where I'm in the car, going to work. So then every once in a while, like some of this new young shit, like I can't think of it, some of the Chicago music, I actually like it. Like there's a couple artists that I like, and it's not, I don't know how to describe it. It's like some of that stuff is dope to me. Like what's that guy's name? One guy in particular is
Chief Keef.
Oh no, I mean, no, I don't like him like that. But let me hold on. It's called I think you would like him too. Hold on, give me a second. Y'all can keep talking. I don't want to slow you guys.
Okay, so Daryl, I want to go to you because I know Daryl. You said you want to feel young, so you still listen to. Tell me some of the stuff you listen to and what draws you to it.
I just, I got Apple Music, so I just recently been bumping that new Babyface Ray. I ain't gonna lie, that shit go
That's
crazy.
him. That's what I was
She
just
go
talking
crazy.
about.
That shit
Bro,
hard. I ain't
stop.
gonna lie.
That's what I was
He
trying to
go
name.
crazy.
That's who
Yeah,
he
he go
took the words out of my
crazy.
mouth. I love that nigga,
Yeah.
bro. You
That
heard
nigga
Motown
hard,
music?
bro.
You heard
He ain't got
Motown
no
music?
drama.
You heard
Yeah,
Motown
that nigga
music?
hard, bro.
But it's powdered in the kitchen. If you was
Yeah,
somebody,
yeah.
that shit is
That nigga
hard.
hard, bro. His
Alright,
new
so tell
album,
me
let me
what-
see. Matter of fact,
I was
I'm
gonna say,
gonna
tell
look
me
up the
what,
song. What y'all
tell me
listen.
what y'all like about it. Like, tell me what
I
what
can
draws
feel
you.
He's
him. I can feel
smooth.
him.
He don't force it. Yeah, he don't force it. He ain't coming with no bullshit mumble rap. Like he talking about current shit,
That
and
nigga
he
need to be
swaggy. You know what I'm
mainstream.
saying? Like he always fresh as a motherfucker. Like he ain't got no drama associated with him. He dope. The album is called "The Kid That Did," but the song that I really like "Groupies and Goodies and Goofies." But it's a song, "Wavy Navy University." That shit hard. And then "Nights Like This." That shit hard, bro. Nights Like This,
Okay,
hard.
I'm
I
gonna
ain't
check
gonna
them
lie.
out. I'm gonna check them out.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
no,
gonna
he's
check them
hard.
out.
Hey, well, how do you wait, bro? When I said Chicago person, I started looking. Did that pop in your head? Like, what made you pull
Yeah,
him out?
because he hot. He hot. It ain't Lil Durk and none of them. It's just him. Because he the only one that's really been smooth and like thorough.
Peasy, everybody that
Yeah,
kicks in
Peasy.
that clip.
Peasy on that album too. He hard too. Peasy hard.
Bro, that whole crew. I believe
Yes.
that if you're an
G
old
Herbo okay. G Herbo all
Oh,
right,
we got
but
Big Billy Clark. Hold on, we got Big Billy Clark over here on Instagram. I gotta shout my guy out, Big Billy Clark. He's one of my dudes. He worked at Def Jam when we used to go to Def Jam when Def Jam was still Def Jam, man.
all
Let
right
me
now,
tell y'all-
Bill. We sent our shot seat, man.
Yeah, let me tell you about Def Jam. When Big Billy worked there, man, we would go up there, and Def Jam was the most ghetto, fabulous label shit. Like it was like some movie shit. You would go up there because we would go see Mars at Sony, and it was all corporate. It was quiet as fuck. Everybody was sitting down in their cubicles. We would leave Sony and go to Def Jam. We go to Def Jam, man. They drinking mimosas. They got Mimosa Fridays. Dudes is getting their haircuts in the cubicles. Red Man might walk by, just start playing his record. Method Man might walk through, like, and they not in there with the executives. They out there with the assistants. They was out there with the assistants and the marketing dudes and the people. So you go to Def Jam, you're gonna see DMX just pop up. Like all them, like Def Jam was really like what you thought a hip-hop label was supposed to be. Like when you walked up in there. And Big Billy Clark was my guy. He was the one who used to get us in there all the time. He helped us get some placements with some labels. Like we had a song on the DMX movie Exit Wounds. We had a song and Billy helped us get that placement. So shout out to Billy for helping us get that placement on Exit Wound. And now Billy manages Keke Palmer. He manages Keke Palmer right now.
Okay.
Yeah, he got her in a bunch of dope places. And I actually got to talk to you about some stuff, Billy. But hey, man, good to see you on. But so he can attest. I remember the day I went to see Billy, and he was like, it was the same kind of thing. He was doing A&R, and he was like, bro, I can't even listen to music to sign it. They got me looking at a computer, seeing what region has a song that's getting the most radio plays, and they want me to just go sign the one that got the most plays. Like it don't matter if that shit good or bad. They just like
that's cliche.
Yep, but that's when the labels. That's when music started to change. When it went from listening to music, following your gut, to data. Because now, even when you talk to a label now, they like no matter how good the music is, they like how many followers you got. What's your engagement?
Clicks and views.
Clicks and views. So you got people who can be terrible, but they got a lot of followers. So it don't even matter. Like they just got a lot of followers and they got a lot of engagement. So people think that's good.
They don't know.
Being honest, a lot of that shit is trash. I'm talking about trash. You just said shit like, what? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian. What's the question?
Like now that you know what you know, and you've had your experience with music, looking back, right? Like certain artists, back to Porch Monkey stuff, like Gucci Man, he did his own distribution, he did his own stuff. If you could start over, do you think that would be an approach that you would take? Because now with social media the way it is, do you really need a record label to punk you into doing what they want when you can do what you want? And kind of like you've been in the game for a long time. If you'd have started off with a certain, ideology,
I can answer that. So now
that's a dope question too.
Yeah. So now I wouldn't, but back then you got to understand this was like this when social media first was kind of coming on the scene, right? This is like the MySpace ending days, beginning of Facebook days when we got our first deal. So back then,
Black Planet.
Yeah. And back then you almost kind of, in order to do what we were trying to do, you kind of had to have a label, right? It's different now. But like if you wanted to be on radio, if you wanted to, get money for tours, because we had a whole band. So, that take money to move. You got to get a bus, you got to get equipment, you got to move all that stuff around. So just from our model at the time, but I will say what happened, the things that we were able to do while we're on Sony, even on our own, like we took their money and did things with it on our own, like bought our own cable commercials in local towns. Like if we was going to Louisiana, we would buy local cable commercials in Louisiana, so when we came there, they would know we was coming. Like this is stuff they wasn't doing. You know what I'm saying? So we would buy cable time all across the country wherever we was going to tell them our record was out and da 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 da. Like we basically did our own like guerrilla marketing plan, but because of the things we did there, we have been able to sustain since then off of the things that we were able to utilize their resources for. So now we're able to continue to tour. We're able to continue to do shows and stuff really because of what we were able to build there. So now it's like, yeah, you don't really need a label to do the things, you know, that you need to do. Johnny Smoke said double-edged sword when people who are social media famous can't do numbers past the first single. Yeah, like we've seen that with was it Ice Spice? All over everywhere.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts commercials. She's doing Super Bowl commercials. Saweetie, City Girls. They were like all the rage all summer, and they put their records out and then couldn't do no numbers. And they had like, when you talk about, they have more social media engagement than almost anybody. Not just social media, they on movies, they on TV, all that stuff, and it still didn't translate. So it's not always automatic that if you got followers, your record's gonna blow.
Blast
Like,
hard, Ron. Yeah, Blast is hard too. And
yeah,
you know,
Blast. Actually, I actually
hard.
like Blast. Blast is dope. I actually listen to both. Stephanie said the part I
listen to
don't
Bino
get,
too.
the part I don't get though is having many clicks and followers doesn't always equate to sales. So why hasn't a light bulb turned on to show them the decline? I think it has, Stephanie. I think now the labels have just gotten a place where I don't think they know how to even operate outside of these formats that they have set up for themselves. Like you don't have a lot of people who have like old school ways of marketing. Like when it comes, like when me and Mars talk
They
about
don't understand. They don't understand what real product marketing is. They only understand social media, and speaking to what you were saying, Dame, they're only focused on the impressions. They don't understand the longevity of a product. Their focus on is those first week sales, and that's it.
Yeah, and talk to us about Mars, because I know me and you talk about more of the like, oh, when you do marketing, this is how y'all could do contests to give TVs away for your, you know, to get more followers or to get more people interested. This is how you get people. Tell me why you think now the people who work in marketing don't have these kind of like ground level roots ideas when it comes to pushing these artists, because you see so many artists come and go. Like if y'all think about it, if y'all think about 2 summers ago, can you even think about who's on the charts 2 summers ago?
Right. To be honest with you, I feel that they have a lack of love for the music. I think it's a lot of people that just want to be down and don't want to necessarily be the outliers and do things differently. I really don't think they're a fan of the music. They're just there just to hang out, participate, and be quote unquote in a clique. It goes back to our earlier conversation where I really feel what they need to do is they really need to just start all over. Like some of these executives that they're hiring, you know, it's like friends of a friend or a family member that's being handed something, as opposed to someone that grew up as a road manager and then, you know, went into quote unquote retail, learned that aspect of things, and then, you know, became interested in marketing and learned that aspect, or had an exposure into promotions and working with radio. These individuals don't understand the nuances of what it takes for a record project to be birthed, groomed, grow. And I just think that, you know, when you look at it, it's like even at the labels don't have that you know, they don't have the what is that, the honesty in it, if that makes any sense.
So what do you think this next iteration of music is going to look like? And I asked that to you guys because I feel like we kind of had an impasse now, right? With like the Sexy Reds of the world kind of like battling the Kendrick Lamars. What do you think the next iteration is going to look like in regards to like, are we going to lean more towards the Kendricks of the world and the praise?
That's why I say this whole battle has started a shift. where for the first time in a long time, you had kids that were actually studying Kendrick's lyrics. You had podcasters that were deciphering everything that was going on. And I think these younger kids that are growing up and that are seeing it, to their eyes, this is hip hop. So already that sexy red shit, that Drake shit is dead to them. They only see Kendrick, they see Logic, they're now being exposed to D1, Lecrae. They're now understanding, they're in their minds, it's about lyrics. So, and again, and I say this is something that's very important. MTV Music Awards had 2.1 million viewers. Kendrick Lamar had 3 million that were listening to that was on his IG page, and they were doing YouTube listening parties.
Well, first of all, that's sad that the MTV Awards only had 2 million views, because back in the day, that was like everything was stopping to watch award shows.
Right.
We talk about like MTV Music Awards. We talk about the American Music Awards. We talk about the Grammys. We talk about the BET Awards, even, right? Like there were times where everybody was watching the award shows at the same time. We all talking about it, either on social media or to each other, or everybody at each other's house to watch it. I feel like that shared experience of award shows has changed, and I don't blame it. I mean, I blame it on some of it, is not just the music, but also the caliber of performances, right? Like, because the performances aren't iconic like that anymore, it's hard for you to have that excitement to watch an award show. And I was telling somebody, my homegirl, she does a bunch of the award shows. She just did the Emmys. Shout out to Janae Ruzon. She did the Emmys. She did the NAACP Awards. She does the BET Awards. And she does like a lot of the tributes that they do. She does a lot of them, or when they do ciphers, she put a lot of those together. It's hard because the thing that made the thing that people come away with is whenever they have the older artists come, right? Whoever they get a tribute to, or whoever the old artist performs, that's the one who gets the highlight. When they did the Mary J. Blige and Method Man, remember that? All the new artists, everybody's talking about Mary J. Method. When they did the New Edition tribute with the actors from the movie, everybody was talking about New Edition and the actors from the movie, or even all the way back to 2017 when they did the Purple Rain tribute, or when they did Missy Elliott tribute. And remember, Missy Elliott did her own tribute. They didn't even have nobody do it. Missy Elliott just came out and did her own shit. And I'm like, it's crazy. Like, how is she the oldest artists are kicking the most butt when they come back to these award shows? What's going to be the shift to that? Like, who's going to change that? Like, what new artists? I will say, the last award show when Victoria Monet, she did her thing. Like Victoria Monet, I felt like that was a real performance and one of the first real performances I've seen in a long time. Like where I felt like they had a show, they had dancers, it was excitement, and they tried. The Usher tribute, they tried, but
well,
I just don't think it should have been all girls.
Right. No, and I agree with you on that aspect. And I think piggybacking what you were saying, I just want to circle back to your question that you had asked earlier. Kendrick did 3 million viewers off of a song on Instagram.
Yeah.
Do you think Wayne would have attracted the same amount of attention?
Ooh, at this moment, no.
Right.
At this moment, no.
That there tells you
why they chose him.
Correct. Because and I hate to say it, but no, I don't hate to say it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Kendrick has transitioned into an icon.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's in the Super Bowl performance is going to solidify that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's then raised himself into that upper echelon of not just artists, but even performers. Because even if you watch his little section that he did in the LA Super Bowl, he killed that. Like his little small section in the LA Super Bowl, I don't know if people remember, but he had like the soldiers, the FOIs dancing with him and stuff, and then he had the people come out. It was really dope. I want to read this comment from Mark. Mark said, like Ron said earlier, and this goes to what Brian was saying about even like James Brown, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Like Ron said earlier, the powers that be don't want our people coming together. listening to message music that brings us together or educates us as a people. They want us to be at war with each other, going to jail, prison, denigrating our women, in my opinion. And then Stephanie said there used to be a certain level of performance you had to give on these award shows. Now you can just walk on with some sweats and a t-shirt and do a two-step. And they're good.
Right. Mhm.
Kendrick Lamar is
What did your girl Kamala Harris do at her little situation? Who did she ever? Megan the what?
Meg Thee Stallion.
Megan Thee
Hey.
Stallion twerking.
Amen.
I
Amen.
need you to talk to
Amen.
your people about that.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Let me read these comments and I'm gonna get to that. Kendrick Lamar is steering the ship on path for us to uplift each other instead of killing each other. Pandora said, I think a lot of it also has to do with the racism in those award shows and artists not supporting. Example, Kendrick put out that same time as VMAs intentionally. Guess who won the song of the summer? Tailored mediocre white girl Swift and Post Malone. Not like that wasn't even nominated. Like that wasn't even nominated. Yeah, that's a good point.
And here's
Kendrick won an Emmy for that halftime performance. Shannon said, "Brian, don't start." No, so let's talk about Kamala having Meg Thee Stallion come out and at the rally. So I personally like the idea of her having Meg Thee Stallion come out at the rallies, and I'm gonna tell you why. And me and Quincy have talked about this extensively. If you're trying to win the 18 to 34 vote, why would you not have one of the biggest stars for the 18 to 34 demographic come out and support you? Also, because I think people forget, because people want to talk about she just twerking. People forget Meg is one of the biggest selling artists. She's also really dope. She's actually got, like, her lyrics are dope to me if you listen to her record. And third, Meg got degrees.
Right.
Meg got
ain't
degrees.
no dummy. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, she ain't no dummy. Yeah, like Meg got degrees. She ain't no dummy. So,
but sex sells, so she got to keep that persona up. You know.
No,
And
no. I'm going off. No.
I hear what you guys are saying. I think Meg to a degree. Meg is very smart. She's very intelligent, but Meg is also playing the game. I think Meg is coming to a point
I agree.
after seeing what is going on with Kendrick, what is going on with the shift on lyrics. I keep hearing everyone talking about this Lotto girl, about her lyrics and whatnot. I think Meg has the opportunity to really lift women in hip hop, but she has to clean up her image. I really thought Rhapsody would be able to do it, but because Rhapsody is such a lyricist that she doesn't necessarily care to conform, I think Meg would be willing to conform a little bit, clean it up, and actually still stay consistent in her lyrics. It's just that she has to get out of this nuances of where quote unquote music is and the sex sells. I think she can transition everything out of it.
all right, I want to read this comment from Pandora, and I'm gonna let Quincy answer this. She said it was fucking. Well, I'll say something first, and then I'll let Quincy take it. It was fucking pandering. I don't like it. I'm ready for Meg the Elevator game. So Pandora, I will say, to me, one, I think she toned down her twerking. Like, she wasn't going ham like she usually goes in her shows at all at that Meg thing, at that Kamala thing. And second, y'all say it's pandering, but like, one hand, is she pandering or is she trying to get the vote?
She's pandering.
Like, you don't say. Well, wait, hold on. Let me finish. What makes it pandering? F1, these are people she actually deals with, because she actually has had Meg at the White House. She's had who was the guy from Migos? That was Quavo. She's been dealing with them on actual legislation before this. Like, so how is it pandering that she's actually been dealing on legislation before this? Like, they was talking, her and Kamala and Quavo have been talking about
gun control and
gun violence.
Right.
Like, so
it has to start with somewhere. It has to start with somewhere.
Yeah, like, if they actually talking to her about policy and then she utilizes them for her campaign, how is that pandering? And when do we call it pandering? And then if she didn't do anything to go out to the 1834 vote, then y'all say she don't care about trying to reach out to black folks. So I don't understand. It's like,
right. It's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't. So Quincy, what's your thoughts on people saying that that's pandering?
I agree with you. I don't think it's pandering for all the reasons that you stated. And like you said, she's trying to reach a demographic. But just like when Trump bought out Hulk Hogan, there was a certain demographic he was trying to reach.
Yeah.
When he brought out Kid Rock, there was a certain demographic he was trying to reach.
When he brought out Chef G,
Yeah.
a certain demographic. he's trying to
Amber
get.
Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and they actually lied about Amber Rose's resume because they said she was a rapper. Name one song Amber Rose have written a rap.
Rapper's girlfriend.
You were talking about pandering. That's actually pandering because they actually lie.
No, I'll tell you what's more pandering.
Meg is actually a rap. Meg is actually a rap artist. She's actually a hip hop artist. What they tried to sell Amber Rose to be, because all them white folks at that Republican convention didn't even know Amber Rose was not a hip hop artist. Mm-hmm. We knew. We up here like, who the hell said Amber Rose was a hip hop artist? That's right. Andrew. And just like Dame said, you're trying to reach different demographic. I mean, you could walk Maxine Waters out there, but how many 23-year-olds know who Maxine Waters is?
Right.
You know,
right.
So if you're trying to reach that 18 to 35, you want to be talking legislation with Quavo and Megs and people of that generation. And I don't listen to none of their music. But
well, even more than that, you want to talk about pandering. Trump brought somebody up to the stage the other day talking about Nicki Jam. She's so hot. She's a fine artist. Came up as a dude. He didn't even know who he was bringing up. It was a dude. Now, to me, that's pandering.
That's pandering.
Yeah. Like, you don't even know who this dude is, and you're trying to use him to get the Latino vote, and you talking about Nicki Jam. Yeah. She's so hot. New artist Nicki Jam. She's so beautiful. Come on up, Nicki Jam. And then the dude walks up. To me, that's pandering.
Fucking idiot.
To the point, dude had to delete the endorsement because he was so humiliated. He had to delete the endorsement off his page because it was embarrassing. That's pandering. But because you're trying to reach different artists, different people of different demographics and age groups, you want to bring people out there like Meg and Quavo out. But and she wasn't really she wasn't really going ham like she normally does. That was very hold on,
Pandora. That wasn't the DNC. That was a rally in Atlanta. That wasn't the DNC. Not the DNC. They didn't have a rapper at the DNC. Now Amber Rose was at the RNC, but no, that wasn't the DNC. That was one of her introductory rallies in Atlanta. So yeah, she has a message. She's been through a lot, but like honestly, if you bring Meg to a rally and she gets up and does a speech, are the kids that she's trying to reach, are they gonna care? Like, let's be 100% realistic.
I want to answer that. I gotta say something.
Go ahead.
For a short moment, probably.
Whoever said, okay, number one, I agree with Pandora. Whoever y'all in my head. I love y'all. Y'all cerebral. This whole little vibe. People be picking my thoughts out there. What if she had to put a nice conservative blouse on, go up there and show?
She had a suit on. She didn't have her. Nothing was showing.
A suit.
She was wearing a suit. Nothing was showing.
Let me go back. You know what?
Go look right now.
Yeah, go look.
That's the most conservative I've ever seen, Meg.
Let me finish my sentence.
She was wearing an all blue suit.
I don't believe that she needed to perform. I don't listen. Let me tell you why I don't go to I grew up in a Baptist church. Okay, I don't. I like the choir. I like all that stuff. But when you come into church, you be dressed nice. It's how do I explain this? I believe she could have walked up in her outfit and spoke intelligently, and then you let the young people say, "Dang, she's multifaceted. She's an artist and she's educated. I need to get my game together. Let me focus on this." Is how I think. I don't have those thoughts that I don't want the votes. I don't want the votes of some little bitty kid that doesn't understand. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Brian,
it was like a blue suit with a tie, white shirt.
No, Brian, I hear everything what you're saying, and I agree with you. But at the same time, you're not her audience. She is directly speaking to her audience. Considering how she has dressed, how she has performed before, she has cleaned up. To her audience, they're seeing a different style of dress. To her audience, they're noticing that difference, and they're now understanding the importance of what is going on. They're a little bit more captivated. And I think that is the one thing that we have to be very honest with ourselves. Mm-hmm. Is this person am I that person's audience? If I am not, then you have to kind of take out your beliefs on what it is and look and see exactly what it is, the message that's being brought. is it resonating with the audience and the demographic that follows and appeals to her?
So y'all
You
talk
can
about
see it,
this
but it's
piece right here
blurring it
with her
out though.
belly showing, with her belly
Yeah, it's
showing.
blurring it out. Yeah.
Did
I
you say
couldn't
with
hear
her
that
belly
either.
showing?
You
Y'all
got
acting like y'all 60-year-old men. Don't do that, Brian.
well,
Don't do that. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
you burnt, bro.
Don't act her belly. Come on, dog. Don't do that.
She's stacked up. She got to show
The
it.
same way, see, I'm gonna tell y'all just switched up. Now I know the conversation we was having before was on a different topic. I watched y'all say that y'all couldn't even respect this new shit, right? But then, so if you don't respect that new shit music wise, and you guys are musicians, I'm not a musician. Now we're talking about politics. You mean to tell me the very people you don't like, you're okay with them being the faces of the political?
Hold on. I never
Wait
said
a
I didn't
minute.
like Meg. I
Yeah.
actually like Meg. I like Meg. I said in the beginning of this conversation, I think she's actually a dope rapper. If you actually listen to her album, I actually think Meg is dope. I said that. I didn't
No,
say
I think he was saying
Meg.
like correlation with Belafonte about the him listening to old music and not a lot of people
Exactly.
listening to new
Like
music.
I was,
That's what he was talking about.
I
But
don't.
we're talking about a specific audience at this time. We're talking about
Yeah.
18 to 34. That's a very specific audience and a very specific music that they listen to. That's not going to be
That's what's spending the money.
what Q listen to, right?
what'd you say?
Exactly. You just proved the point.
No, I was listening. I was reading the comment. I'm not with the extras out. What'd you say, Dan?
Oh, and I was saying like, so it's a very specific demographic that they were trying to reach with her, and then they had Quavo speak. He did speak, right? He didn't perform. He spoke and he talked about legislation and gun violence. Nobody talks about that though, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so there were more parts to it. I think she was just there to hype up the beginning, like the pep rally, right? She was literally there to hype up the beginning. That's all she did. I think people putting way more on it. And Pandora said, I can affirm that in a lot of women's spaces, we didn't like that. I get that, but also a lot of those women who say they don't like that shit also be twerking too. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a bit hypocritical. I feel like shit is a bit hypocritical because some of the women I know talking about they don't like that shit. I know how y'all turn up. You know what I'm saying? So
twerking, Pandora, you be twerking. Is that a valid? Is that valid?
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a bit hypocritical, and me and my dad talk about this all the time. I feel like church folk do this all the time. Church folk be talking about the young kids and the young folks, like y'all went out here tearing up these streets when y'all was young too. Don't act like y'all been holding
I never did no dumb shit, bro.
The nastiest people.
I was always a conservative cat. Always kick back.
You're right.
Hey, Brian, you might have been, but you are not the majority, dog. I
can honestly say I've been this exact way my whole life. I never was with the crowd.
Look, we twerk out of the damn rally.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Time and place. You go twerk in the club. When you go back and you talking politics, you put your conservative stuff on and you speak like an educated person. There has to be a line, bro.
Okay, but let me ask you this: wouldn't you have felt? Because this is how I feel. Wouldn't you have felt she would have been disingenuous if she would have did that?
No, actually, it might have made me pay attention. I might have been able to stomach it.
Okay, well, let me ask the people who not conservative, because you said you conservative because you talking about her belly out. So the other guys on the panel, would you have felt like she was being a little disingenuous if she would have put a suit on and did some kind of spiritual song or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have felt she wasn't representing what she originally put out there for us to view. You know what I'm saying? You got to be yourself. I get what you're saying. She kind of like toned it down, but she still kept it to where it's her. She didn't like shade away from who she is as a person. You know, she still showed her little skin, but she didn't show everything, and she didn't bend over, short crotch and all that shit. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I feel like, when I looked at the suit, okay, I see what she was trying to do. She accomplished it. She still showed her little sexiness, and then still, exuded a message. But then they was shitting on both of them because they took some money to show up. They was saying, oh, they just did it for the money and this, that, and the third, that type of thing, but.
I wasn't turning this around on the church, Shannon. I was just making an example about how sometimes we can be hypocritical without even thinking about it, without even knowing it. Because I grew up in the church, so that's why I was talking about. Like, I know I heard some old deacons in the church saying this, that, and the third, and I'm like, nigga, I done heard stories about you and your pistol. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But they be acting like they ain't never did no dirt, or they ain't never been young, or they wasn't never chasing girls, or they, you know what I'm saying, or they didn't never wear. You know what I'm saying? They didn't them older ladies acting like they ain't never wear no little skirts and stuff like that. Like that's what I'm talking about in regards to this, right? I'm talking about and I understand what Pandora's trying to say with venue, time, and place, but I think sometimes we get a little rigid in our own thinking and don't think outside the box, right? If we saying we want to bring a new demographic into voting because they just don't care, you got to meet them where they at first. Then you could talk policy with them. If you're talking about these kids don't care about voting, these kids, you're not going to get them with a speech. You just not. And I teach these kids.
Nope.
If you had Meg come up there and had her talking about her story, the kids that she's trying to bring in the numbers for, they would not care. You know what I'm saying? She said, "I'm tired of the twerk rap girl." I am too, Pandora, but I don't put
I don't put her in the same
I
category.
don't put Meg in that territory. I don't put her in the sexy red tour. I think she's actually
No.
I think she's in a different.
I won't even do that myself.
She a way better dope and see. She actually talks some shit.
And that's what I'm saying. I think she's in a different place.
She ain't like them.
So I think yes, she does twerk, but I don't think that's her whole thing like those other girls. To me, those other girls, they whole thing
on
is
some hood shit. Yeah, she on some hood shit.
like if I don't show my ass in the video,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But like I said, Brian, but I'm saying like I teach these kids. Right. And I'm talking about if you trying to meet them where they at and you trying to get them excited about something, you got to get them excited in a way that's going to actually work for them. Not for us 40 and up dudes. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't for us. What was for us was Tim Walls was for us because he spoke. Kamala, that was for us. Even Quavo wasn't for us. That was for the kids, but also it's for the legislation and the policy talking about gun violence. Like, but you got to think about what's actually for us and our demographic and what we care about and what the kids and they demographic cares about. You understand what I'm saying?
When you take these kids' minds and you trying to make them vote, they don't even have the mental prowess to understand the stuff that we as adults understand. So when you start seeing the masses and these children and their votes are mattering, it's almost like they're swamping out the votes that matter. Imagine living in a world where the youth, what their political thoughts are going around. When you go to church,
right, you ain't right.
Like think about this. When I went to church, you know what turned me off from church? I grew up in a Baptist church. I like to learn. I wanted to learn from the sermon. So I favored pastors like Fred Price. I favored him because he was a teacher. I didn't like the people that had to do all the shucking and jiving to get the people going before they passed the plate. That I turned against that. I don't like, you don't have to shake my soul up. You got to talk to me mentally. Say something that makes sense and I can go, damn, that's true. I just can't and I don't have a problem with Quavo nor Megan necessarily. If I go to one of their concerts, I pay to go there. That's one thing. If I go there to see the atmosphere, but to go to a political rally and to see that, to me, I just think like if this is what's going on now, then we're doomed. We're doomed.
Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
Let me ask you this question. Would you have preferred that Meg not be there and risk not having the youth take an interest in politics?
Would I rather have it's a difficult question for me to answer. I understand.
No, it's an easy question. It's a yes or no.
No, I don't talk like that, bro. I don't know you that well. I don't do that type of, I'm a
let's stop with the hostilities. I'll let you finish your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't, respectfully, I don't, when people try to
I'll let you finish your thoughts.
I'm gonna
go ahead, Brian. Finish your thought.
Because I'm saying I don't need no pressure to talk. I can just talk. So I don't need none of that. So as far as like if I was running from something and if I wanted the youth, I understand his perspective when he's saying if I'm trying to get the youth. But I believe if you're trying to get the youth, then that means why aren't you able to talk to the adults? What is the problem with the grown people? I
think they talk to both. That's what I'm saying. I think you're missing the point. I think they had something for everybody. I think they spoke to the adults and they spoke to the youth at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're in Atlanta, you're kicking off your campaign, you're trying to get some young people out to your rallies. You like, let me come have Meg open up my first rally with the young folks, and then let me have Tim Walsh. Like I said, in between that, you talking about the vote after Meg. You had governors, people from the union
registrations.
Yeah, you had the union. You had representatives.
It was a rally. That's what rallies are. You have music, you have a DJ, you have entertainment. That's where the rally is.
Yeah. Yeah, like they talked, they spoke, but a rally is really to get people pumped up and excited to vote. And I'm saying, if we're saying we want to get people pumped up and excited to vote, I'm not against a rapper being there to get the people pumped up and excited to vote, especially a rapper that has been involved with the government. Like, to me, it would be pandering if she got like some drill rapper who she never heard of and was trying to pass it off like that's somebody she messed with, right? To me, I would say that's pandering. But she got somebody that she's dealt with, she's had conversations with, that she's done interviews with. So I'm like, okay, that's somebody you really rock with. We've seen Quavo before the rally with her. So I'm like, oh, that's somebody you rock with. So to me, I don't feel like that's pandering. Like, these are people that I've actually seen her moving around with before. Like, if she would have had Charlamagne come and introduce her, people like, oh, she pandering, she got Charlamagne. I'm like, no, she's been on the Breakfast Club multiple times. So I don't feel like,
I understand that. Now, when you put it in that perspective, I actually understand that.
Yeah,
I would have taken a different route, but I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, so I'm not. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's the same thing of why Hulk Hogan was at the Republican convention. There's millions of people watch wrestling every week, so they wanted to bring in that audience, a certain demographic. So that's who they brought in, Hulk Hogan. I mean, Hulk Hogan just wasn't up there for nothing. If you check out wrestling numbers are in the millions every year. I mean, every week.
That shit crazy.
So there was a certain demographic they was trying to reach by bringing Hulk Hogan out, because that's another demographic that's about 18 to 35, but the race demographic is a little different. So it's politics, but it's also a rally. But to just over scrutinize because someone brings an entertainer to a rally, that's what rallies are.
Pandora said Quavo wasn't pandering because he talked actual policy. I said Meg's presence was pandering. We'll just have to agree to disagree. I don't think it was pandering. I think she was there to do a specific job.
I just think it was tacky. To me, it was tacky. It was just tacky.
I'll just say,
and that's subjective, right? To me, that's subjective.
I'll just say that I'm sure that there are a lot of young kids that tuned in to Meg that suddenly were made aware of Project 2025.
And to me, that's what it's about, right? Like I said, if you meet them where they at, and then you talk policy with them. But if you can't meet them where they at, if you roll out there and try to bring out Jill Scott or something, that ain't for them. They ain't gonna care about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, like, she was there to do a specific job because it is a rally, like Quincy said. She was there to pump up the rally. She even changed her lyrics, you know what I'm saying, to be more about what Kamala was talking about. She changed up her way of dress. So, I think she said she could have brought. You just got a problem with the twerking, Pandora. I ain't finna keep arguing back and forth with you about this girl twerking. Because, like I said, I don't even think she was like hella twerking like that. Michelle Obama did the same thing. But like I said, I just think sometimes you got to meet people where they at. And if you want to meet them where they at, then that's what, like Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift, once she announced that she was endorsing Trump, what did she do? She got almost 1 million people to register to vote.
Who?
Taylor Swift. She got almost she endorsed Kamala and then put a link to register to vote, and then she said, do your own research, but I want y'all all to register. So she got 1 million people to register in like 5 days. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's all how you use your platform and how you, like I said, meet people where they at. Because she didn't say, hey, I'm voting for Kamala. Y'all need to vote for Kamala too. She said, I'm voting for Kamala, and what y'all need to do. Well, that's Pandora. That's more because she can't.
And the thing is, I go back to use your church analogy. So, for example, you was more of a Fred Price style, right?
Yes.
So some people like Bishop Noah Jones style. That's why God have more than one church. Because if that messenger doesn't work for you, you go to a different church. It doesn't mean that pastor was wrong in his delivery. That's just not for you. That's just not that's basically just not your preference. So you just go to a different church. It's the same word, just a different messenger. But to say, oh well, since the message, the way I like the message,
no, I just like the message.
No, but the point I'm trying to make, to say that since they delivering a message which I don't like, then it's wrong. I disagree with that.
Well, I didn't say it was wrong, but I understand what you're saying. It's just more so that if you want to be taken seriously, like if I go to court, right? If I go to court and I want to make sure that I'm gonna, like Puffy right now, right? He's not gonna get in court and start performing for the judge in hopes that the judge will be like, you know what, Puffy, I like that. Let me let this nigga. But if Puffy gets up there and like he ain't going, I'm just saying something. He's not gonna get.
But court and a political rally are entirely two different things.
Hold on, let me address this. Stop putting words in my mouth, Pandora. She said meet people where they are. So basically, we don't think highly of people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a demographic that are different from us, that's younger than us, that relate in a different way than we do. And like I said, I know this from teaching kids. They relate to things and they connect to things in a way that we don't. Let me tell you something. If when I was young, if they would have had a Tribe Called Quest come up at a Bill Clinton, I would have been pumped, and I would have thought we mattered, and I would have felt like, damn, that's dope. They speaking to us, and they never did back then. And guess what? We didn't vote. We wasn't coming out in big numbers. You understand what I'm saying? Like if the Democrats back then would have done things to me that I felt like was speaking to the youth, we probably would have been engaged in politics way earlier.
Do y'all remember when Eazy-E gave money to the Republican Party? Do you remember when Ronald Reagan mentioned Eazy-E because Eazy-E was one of his donors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was dope. No rap involved, just a rapper's name. Just a rapper's name, and he got a bunch of publicity. All he did was give some money, and the guy had to mention the donor. He mentioned Eazy-E's name. I thought that was brilliant. No gimmicks.
It wasn't a rally though. He was visiting the White House.
I'm just talking about delivery of anything. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, but also, I'm talking about context because I think we keep leaving out the context, right?
You can't leave out the context. It was a rally.
No, but
I don't think of a rally like a rally is a rally, but I'm talking about politics. It doesn't matter if it's a rally; it's politics. It's politics.
It is, but I'm saying even in politics, but a rally is different than the DNC. The DNC is different than a sit-down interview. A sit-down interview is different than the town hall. So you can't say it's politics when they're all different settings with different settings with different purposes, right? And the purpose of a rally literally is to get people excited about voting. So this is what I'm saying. For me, the bottom line is to get people excited about voting. Are you doing some things to get the 18 to 34 demographic excited about voting for you? And I think that's what her goal was. And I think she did that. That's it. I didn't have to like it because I know it wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see. She said, I thought it was dope when Bill Clinton went our. That's what won in the damn election. When Arsenio Hall played that saxophone, black people said they start fucking with him.
Exactly. That was dope.
And he was pandering. He 100% was. And that shit worked.
Yeah. He was definitely pandering.
Ooh.
Will said I was like fuck Eazy-E when I saw that, and a lot of my friends. Ronald Reagan was trash. Yeah, he got a lot of backlash. He got a lot of backlash for that. He did. Well,
if you listen to No Vaseline, I actually let them know how he felt about that too.
yeah.
Thoroughly.
But again, but like I said, I just feel like we have to get a little bit out of this rigid way of thinking if we do want to get more people in the voting block. You understand what I'm saying? Because I think we can get caught up, and I'm not, how do I say this? Because I feel like
let's let prisoners vote.
I don't know what that got to do with it, but okay.
We should. I think we should.
What you mean you don't like what would be the problem? Let's let everybody vote.
I mean, I don't care about it because the more people who vote is actually better for the Democrats than
a better turnout. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think that
low hanging fruit. Got you.
I'm talking about period. Yeah, like
I think prisoners should vote.
James said it's okay if it's politics sometimes in some situations. Willie said they citizens, why not? Yeah, I don't think if you make a mistake that you shouldn't ever be able to vote again either. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I mean the laws that are passed impacts them, so they should be able to vote on it.
Fuck it. Next time she might as well let that thing for the youth. Might as well. Y'all gonna be mad anyway.
She might as well.
She tried to be conservative and the old folks man anyway, so she might as well go all out. I'm with it. Go ahead, Meg. Show it all. Ron said, I agree. Prisoners should vote. You shouldn't lose your right to vote over a crime. And just because we know how crimes disparagingly touch us as black folks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. They can run for president. Why shouldn't they vote?
Right.
Wow. Wow. That was a body
Shots
blow.
fired.
Pew, 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 pew. Hey, why you do that?
Shots
Quincy?
fired.
Why did you say they could vote?
I mean,
Quincy came with the Boys in the Hood drive-by right there.
Motherfucker have 34 convictions and be president. Why should they vote?
He just catching bodies right there. He just that was funny.
Yeah, that's a hella good point. If I could be the president as a felon, I sure should be able to vote as one.
Exactly.
Damn. That was vicious, bro.
Yeah, that was a cold one. So, but like I said, I think it's interesting too because in these conversations, the one thing that I have found interesting the most, like how much time we spent talking about Meg twerking, but how much little time we talked about Amber Rose being at the actual RNC, right? Black folks are holding Kamala to a standard that they don't hold Trump to. Like they holding her to a standard like, oh, she doing this and she doing that, so she's not gonna get my vote, but they'll vote for Trump with a much lower standard and a much lower bar. Like she's scrutinized and everything picks apart every single thing she does. But on the other side, Trump is talking about people eating cats and dogs, and they not only do they not
weirdo.
You got black folks joining in on the xenophobia against other black folks, which is some shit that I never thought that I would see, which has been crazy to me. But let's talk about that for a minute, even though that wasn't on the docket. Let's talk about why do y'all think that is that there is this standard? Because I hear people talking about what is she gonna do for black folks, but then they don't ask the exact same question of Trump. Because I understand if you feel like if you're talking about both candidates, right? And if you say, oh, well, what is he going to do for black folks? I think I should hear you say, well, what is Trump going to do for black folks? If that's the actual question. But I feel like the question most oftentimes only leans one way. Or, you know what I'm saying? People holding her to a standard about Gaza and Palestine. Or I'm not voting for her because of her position on Gaza. But nobody's talking about Trump's position, which we know is straight Israel.
He gonna let Israel blow
Gaza off the map. Yeah, so they talking about they want issue borders on Gaza, but he is polar opposite. Like, I'm Israel, I don't care about a two-state solution. So they don't hold her to that same, to hold him to the same standard they hold her. And I'm talking about black folks in particular that I see that are like leaning Trump or talking about voting for Trump. Why do y'all think that is, that she's held to a standard that and questioned in a certain way about her policies that Trump isn't held to? Because I was interested to see after Trump said he didn't have a plan, he just had a concept of a plan. I wanted to see if all them people who had talked so much shit about Kamala not talking about policy, I want to see if they would come and say something about that. Because all the people like, oh, well, I don't like her policy. And I'm like, okay, cool. Or she ain't talked about her policy yet. So then once she finally did start talking about her policy, right? I was like, let me see if people say something about Trump saying he don't have an actual policy. He just got a concept of a policy. And those black folks didn't say a damn thing about Trump saying he didn't have no policy.
They wanted.
And the thing
they want to keep it intact. They want to get that money.
And the thing that bothers me about that is, in full context, he was talking about healthcare. So for 10 years, he's been trying to get rid of Obamacare, just for the simple fact that it passed under Obama.
Yeah.
So you've been trying to get rid of something for 10 years. And now they ask you, what is your plan? And you got a concept, almost a damn decade, and you have no plan, no policy to replace what you're trying to remove that would basically take away health insurance for millions of people. And here we are damn near 10 years later, and when they ask you, what is your policy to replace that policy that would take away people's health care, you have a concept of a plan. And nobody said anything about that shit.
Well, Ron, this is Ron's answer to the question, and we could talk about this, and I feel like this is a big part of it. He said, because America is more sexist than racist. Folks don't want to see a woman lead the nation, and that's the biggest.
I agree. Who said that? I agree.
Ron.
I agree.
I mean that's not even the elephant in the room. That's like a fucking T-Rex in the room.
I mean, you know, I'm the only that's where I probably look fucked up, and I just openly express, you know, if you guys believe in the Bible, Timothy 2:12. I'm not a Bible person, but it says there about women in leadership. So I want to know if there's, you know, I'm not a Christian. I don't know who is here, but this country is Christian. So why aren't they standing on their Christian values about women in leadership?
Well, if you do that, then you got to stand on your Christian values about adulterers, and then Trump would be disqualified too. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing that you try to hold her to. If you're going to utilize that, you got to hold him to the count on the same side.
You're going slippery slope.
No, you are, because you can't use the Bible on one instance and say, "Oh, the Bible say this about." Then what the Bible say about adulterers and thieves? Because he's both.
Yeah, but she's not even supposed to be up there in the first place. Like,
He's not either. Then, like I'm saying, based on what you're talking about, your principle of the Bible,
you know what? I'll go for that. Like,
he's not either.
Put
so then you have to
put another Republican up there and put another Democrat and let them both be men, and now we have better chances.
Yeah, but the Constitution is not written on Christian values. So you can't.
There are other reasons. Yeah.
I like your responses, dude. I like your responses. I like your get back. I don't have to agree.
You can't govern under Christian values when a lot of your citizens not even Christians. So basically, are you going to hold atheists who are American citizens to Christian values?
I mean,
Muslims.
You kind of have to. I don't believe in none of that stuff. I mean, I'm not a Christian, but I know that I'm outnumbered, so I don't have too much say so. But I hear what you're saying. I mean,
can you expand on that, Shannon? Shannon said you have to put Timothy 2:12 in context. So can you put that? Can you expand on that for me? Mark said Trump fails in all of the Bible standards. Yeah, that's what I said.
I mean, what the Christian values when it comes to forgiveness, and we execute people. So we can't pick and choose Christian values when we like it and when we don't. That's why I kind of get on pro-life people, because it seems like Republicans only pro-life before birth, and they support everything that relates to death after birth. Motherfucker, pro-guns, pro-death penalty, pro-war, everything that causes death after you're born, they support. So, are you really pro-life? So, oh, well, you know, that's murder. That's against the Bible. Abortion. Okay, but they would execute a motherfucker in a minute on death row.
Laws of the land. Laws of the land.
So, are people really pro-life? So you can't really govern, because you can't pick and choose what Christian values you want to govern. You want to govern on. And it seems like a lot of conservatives only have problems. The only sins they care about is abortion and gay people. But fornication, I'm going to leave that one out. Lust, we're going to leave that one out. Adultery, we're going to leave that. But you know what? You're going to hell if you abort a baby and you're gay.
Sodom and Gomorrah. What did he do to that city? I'm joking. Don't mind me.
Ron said, just say I don't want to see a woman lead, then go home and tell your daughters you could be anything you want to be with a straight face. Well,
yeah,
I ain't gonna tell her no shit like that.
But you know, like I said, for me, we talking about if we used to put up qualifications versus qualifications, take away if it's male or female. If we just put up her qualifications, if we talk about just her qualifications and his qualifications, she whoops his ass every time. If we talking about now her policy versus his policy in this specific election, she whoops his ass every time. If we talking strictly policy, take away the person, take away Kamala, take away Trump. Let's look at their policies, strictly their policies. She's actually been laying out her actual policies for homeowners. She's been laying out her actual policy for gun violence. She's actually been laying out her policies for businesses. Small businesses, small business loan. He's talking about he got concepts of a plan, and when it comes to child care, he just started talking in circles. They asked him about child care, and this nigga said something about, what did he say when they asked him about child care? He answered the question about bombs, like we gonna nuke somebody and that's gonna make child care better. What?
So, Dave, you said this. You said this years ago, and it has nothing been true. You said Trump is the poster child of what white privilege is. If you want to see by definition of an example of white privilege, Donald Trump is that. Because let's give Barack Obama Donald Trump resume. He wouldn't even touch the fucking Senate.
Yeah.
Hell no. They probably
With
try to
that
put him in
resume.
jail or some shit like that.
He wouldn't even be city council with that resume. And just the mere fact that, you know, we talk about this country being racist and white privilege and all that, and here it is smack dab in our face constantly when you see somebody who could just come out and just say, I just grab women by the pussy.
That bothered
They
you?
like it. Was found liable civilly in sexually assaulting a woman, got 34 other convictions. I mean, have been accused, his university was accused of fraud. Just the numbers of things that, and then he still is in contention to be president.
And listen, this goes, and then you talk about Barack and Kamala, they damn near got to be perfect to have a chance against somebody like him.
Just to have a chance.
Just to have a chance against somebody like him, they damn near got to be perfect.
Y'all consider Kamala black?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, you know,
Let me ask you something, Brian. Do you think Giannis Antetokounmpo is black?
Okay, so you know,
no. Do you think Giannis Antetokounmpo? Do you think he's black?
If you want to go by the definition of all, we're melanin, but if you're black, that means you're American and you don't have a culture. So if he's not black by ethnicity, he actually has a culture. He's Greek. So all this stuff over here, it's like he doesn't have a passport that says he's black.
But do you think? All right. Well, let me ask you the quicker question. Will
He's
police
not
see him as a
culturally
black
black.
man? Let me
Yes,
ask you a
melanin.
quick. Will police see him as a black man?
Probably.
Okay.
But
Would
they-
America see him as a black man?
So so to me, do you think that me and a Nigerian would be treated the same?
Yes. In this
By the
country,
police?
hell yeah.
Yeah. In this country, yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Do you think a white person could tell you, could tell which one of you are Nigerian?
What?
Do you think a white person could tell? Matter of fact, all of us on here, do you think a white person could look at the screen and tell who's Nigerian and who's not?
Is there somebody Nigerian here?
No, I'm just saying, do you think a white person could look at the screen and tell who's Nigerian and who's not?
Probably not.
That's
Exactly.
America. There it is.
That's
That's America. That's literally America.
But we know the difference. Y'all know the difference.
But we don't hold the power structure, brother.
You know
Yeah.
the difference in a Belizean and a Jamaican and an African American. You know what I'm saying? They all look alike, but we know the difference. You hear the accent, you see the culture, you see the way they cook their food.
That's not
They
true.
still-
Hey,
they
Mars, where you
still-
from? Mars, where your family from?
Guyana,
Did y'all know that?
and we still consider ourselves black.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You go to Jamaica, they still consider themselves black.
Well, to me, Jamaicans are black. I don't know why.
I don't consider anybody outside of America black. If you have a country and you have a flag, you're in a better situation than us black Americans here. You actually have a culture.
America is more than the United States. Jamaica is part of the North American continent. The Caribbean is the sub-region of North America. So anybody whose country is a part of the North America continent that have ancestries from Africa that were slaves is technically African American.
Say that to the Honduranians. If you ask a Honduran, they're not going to say that. My people are from Honduras, and the lighter skinned ones, they don't relate to that.
Well, I know several Jamaicans who identify as African American.
Right.
Jamaica is on the continent of North America, and they have ancestries that was African slaves. So I don't know when we start gatekeeping who's black and who's not, but I would say this about Kamala.
Asians
Or letting white people gatekeep who's black. That's the one for me. Letting white folks gatekeep who's black. That's to me.
Well, you know what? I know this, and dang, you heard me say this a lot of times. when I first got into law enforcement, and Kamala was the DA in San Francisco, and when she became AG, the criticism of Republicans was she was this liberal black woman who was soft on crime. They even called her a prosecutor social worker because she had programs that help first-time felons
reacclimate.
Basically get back into society
to reverse recidivism.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
See, that's when Republicans called her the black woman who was just soft on crime and letting niggas out of jail. But then when she decided to run for president, she's the Indian woman throwing niggas in jail.
That's what happened to Trump. Before Trump ran for president, nobody called him racist. Black people were dealing with him.
Whoa.
I call him racist.
I think you could probably take trips to New York where he's really called racist. Every single day.
Really?
Yeah, I really think you should travel outside.
Back before the election, people had a problem with Donald Trump with racism. Back before people.
Yeah.
The landlord thing.
Racism.
The landlord thing, Mars.
Have you heard about the Central Five?
Yeah, that hurts my heart. Yeah.
So you don't think that people would have had a problem with that and call him racist?
Especially in New York, where he's based.
So the people who accepted Trump, Diddy, who felt that, as you can see, they feeling they can do the same shit as he do, and they find out the hard way they can't do the same thing that Donald Trump does and still be free. You in jail, he might get into the White House.
America, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read these comments because we got a few comments. Pandora said my I don't know if she said her best friend or boyfriend is Indo-Jamaican, biracial, raised by his South Indian mother, and he considers himself black. Mark McGuire said if any of them come to America and get stopped by the police, they gonna be black. Niggas want to apply the one drop rule to mostly everybody but Kamala. That's the shit that got me tripping. Bruh, he been racist since the 80s when he bought.
Her father's not black.
Her father's Jamaican, right?
He lived in Jamaica. His passport says European Sikh. He's an Indian. He's an Indian Sikh. His thing says European. His passport does not say.
Some Indians consider themselves black.
Yeah, he's Jamaican.
Let me tell you how black she is. In 1968, when she was 5 and they was desegregated schools, they bust her ass out. That's how black she is. Now tell me, who was getting buffed out in the 60s during desegregation? Niggas. That's who it was.
If you ask Indians, if you go ask Indians right now if they're black, they're not going to answer that question that way. Why
don't you ask one right now?
Or you Indian? Who's Indian?
Ask me.
I thought you said you were from. Didn't you say you're from Guyana?
Ask me the question.
Are you Indian?
The question is, do Indians consider themselves black? That's the question, right?
I ask you. I'm asking.
Yes.
I thought you said Guyana. Is Guyana?
Yes.
I thought you said you're from Guyana.
Dave, I'm gonna get off. I gotta go to bed. The ignorance on this is a little too much. So, Q, talk to you later, my friend.
So check it. Kamala not only lived in a black neighborhood, had a black lived experience, got bussed out during segregation, went to a black HBCU, joined the sorority, was the head of the Black Student Union for Young Lawyers. So she's had literally a black experience if you actually would take the time to care to look into her background and not believe a white man saying that she's not black. She's actually had a lived black experience from the time she was in Oakland to the time she became a lawyer. Now, if she didn't consider herself black, why would she be the president of the Black Student Union? You see what I'm saying? And this is before anything was politicized. She's literally lived her life as a black woman. And then people say, well, when she got announced as the AG, they said she was the first Indian, right? Because that's what everybody liked to lean on. They didn't say she was the first black one. They said she was, because she wasn't the first black one. she was the first Indian one. There were other black women before her, so they couldn't say she was the first
Hey,
black
James,
woman.
For me, maybe I'm a little slow because I was multitasking. So he's from Guyana and India, or his mother's from Guyana? Like, I didn't understand what was going on there. I thought you said he was from Guyana.
Yes, he is.
So Guyana's India? That's South Africa.
Yeah.
Guyana and India are the same?
No.
So I don't. Oh, so he's half and half.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's why I was trying to specify. So I don't know why he did that. He could have said, yes, I'm half Guyanan, I'm half Indian. So then I would have said, oh, okay, you consider yourself. Then we would have been on the same page.
Well, first, just real quick, the biggest population in Guyana is Indian Guyanese.
Oh, okay, I don't know. I didn't know anything. When I looked at Guyana, I just know them as South African. So I don't know. He could have educated me there, but all that was like unnecessary. I don't know anything. I was asking. That was the question. Oh, are you from, I didn't know the difference.
Yeah, but the biggest, so I'll tell you, the biggest population is Indian Guyanese, right?
Right. That was the perfect time to educate the people. He could have educated me and the rest of the people. I'm not from, like I said, I'm from Honduras.
Right.
My parents didn't consider themselves black.
Right. But do you consider yourself black at all?
I'm a dark-skinned person on my dad's side.
I know, but Brian, do you consider yourself black?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so apply your thinking to Kamala's life then. Even if let's say her dad didn't consider herself black, even if her mom didn't consider, like your parents don't consider themselves black, but then she had the black lived experience like you did. Is her blackness any different from yours in that regard?
Number one, when you're saying you're black, you're saying that you're in America without a flag or a language. Let's be specific. When you're saying you're black, you're saying you're a color, not a nationality. If you have a nationality, you can claim a flag. As an African American that I am, I have no flag I can claim. But you can
claim Honduras. You said your parents are Honduran.
Well, I found that out later in life. Back when you knew me, back in high school, I found that out later in life. So I grew up mentally knowing that I was a black person in my mind, right? I didn't find. I was like, oh, wait a minute. My grandparents are from. I didn't pay attention to that stuff. So I'm saying, like, I'm culturally a black person, and I'm obviously black. But my grandparents do not look like me. They don't look like me at all.
That's what I'm saying, bro. A lot of our grandparents don't look like us.
Right, but
so when you go back that far, a lot of us have grandparents that are culturally from somewhere else.
Right.
You said what, Pop? Yeah, they thought my great grandma was a white woman. My dad said they thought she's black.
I thought when I was a kid, I thought my dad was white. I really
so that goes to the point. Like I said, I just want to have a conversation. I know a lot of people think like you in regard to saying, "Oh, is she black? She's not black." She's had
that was a simple question, to me. I didn't think.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, I wanted to dive into it a little deeper because I think a lot of people say that and they have that question. But I think the bigger thing is, has she had the lived black experience like you have? Like you said you grew up in a lived black experience, even though your peoples are from Honduras. So you consider yourself, even though you probably, have pride in your Honduran side and respect your Honduran side, you still think you're a black person, right? Yeah. You still consider yourself black. I think it's the same thing, and I think people get caught up in saying things like, "Oh, I don't think she's black because she Indian. First she was Indian, then she was black." Like, no, the whole time she's been Indian and black, and she's had a black lived American experience, which I think to me is the biggest thing. Because, like I said, when you look at her, a black girl named Kamala who got bussed out during segregation, I don't think it really get blacker than that. And then again, I said she continued to be the Black Student Union president, not the Indian Student Union president. She was the Black Student Union president, joined the sorority, went to HBCU with black folks because she identified, to me, more with her black side than her Indian side in regards to that lived experience. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
I hear the last part again. The last part, I didn't hear the last part.
I said, would you say that's a fair assessment that she's identified more with her black side, with her lived experience than with her Indian
side? Now that I'm hearing all this stuff, I guess you could say so. But like I said, I went to school with a lot of Asians and a lot of Indians. And during the time I went to school, I heard people get offended by the concept. Because if you put an Indian next to me and our skin color is the same and we don't talk, you might think we're the same people. As soon as they start talking, I just don't consider that person with that different language and that different food. When we say black, let's talk about the food we're eating. let's talk. I mean, I'm trying to break it down to something.
Well, you're talking about the culture, right?
Right. I mean, I think that
Okay.
matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. So I'm saying, even on that point of the culture, right? Even on that, she's lived the black experience, even on the side of culture. If you want to literally take the race out of it and talk about her lived experience as the culture, young black girl from Oakland, listening to Tupac and Too Short, smoking weed, going to a HBCU.
Smoke weed? She said that?
Yes.
Wow.
Joining the black sorority, stepping in the step show. To me, these are all things we would consider things we seen a black girl do, right? In the neighborhood that we came from. So if you are talking about strictly culture, she's even had that lived culture black experience along with her Indian culture, you know, because people like, oh, she was cooking Indian food. Like, yeah, like if you have somebody from, like, for example, in our family, if you got somebody from Louisiana, they're gonna cook one way, and then you got somebody in our Chicago family, they're gonna cook another way. But we all still black, but they not cooking the exact same way. Chicago barbecue gonna taste different than our Florida barbecue.
Me myself, my response to that is the black experience is not the same for Indian people, and I know this for a fact. Like, Indian people right now in America, for the GDP, are the number one in America. They make the highest income over whites, Jews, everybody, Indians, right?
Yeah.
When they get pulled over by the police, they know. I don't care what none of you guys say. They know the difference in an African American black person and an Indian. You do not see Indians in the jail population. It would be hard. It's probably one person that's Indian in jail. Like, how many Indians do you think from India are in jail relative to black people?
I agree with that. But if you're talking about she's Indian and Jamaican, it's like you taking one piece of her, like you taking a whole half of who she is away from her. You see what I'm saying? Like, yes, if we were talking about her as just being Indian and identifying as black, I think that would be a different conversation, right? But I'm saying she's Indian and black because of her Jamaican dad and how she grew up and what she identified as. I think there's a difference, right? I think we have to go ahead, Quincy.
Her mother, who was a civil rights activist, knew that society would see her and her sister as black women, and she said this in her book. That's why their mother raised them to be black women. She raised them to because basically that's how society was going to view them, and that's how society was going to treat them. So her mother, who is an Indian woman, she said raise her and her sister as black women because that's how society was going to see them and view them.
If you're already black, you don't have to be raised as black. But I hear you.
Yeah. Well. I know several mixed race people. When I ask them, what do you raise your son? They're like, well, he's mixed, but society gonna see my son as black. So I want him not. He got to know that his experience is going to be a black man experience.
Yep.
Although his mama is white, he's gonna have a black man experience.
I feel like people be code switching. You know, like they're convenient. You know, and I mean we all do it. But you know, you're this over here and you're that over there. You know. Like, culturally, in other cultures, it's sad to say that they don't really like us like that, right? So I'm sure there's a setting where she's very conservative and she's who she is, and then when she gets in front of us, she probably changes her personality a little bit. When I see her, did you guys see that setting she was in when she was dancing at the lunch table and she had those two guys? Yep. Like, when I saw that, I mean, maybe that looked natural to you guys. To me, that looked like a stage scene. Like, I want to seem like a cool black. I'm going to snap my fingers.
What do women that go to higher university dance?
Yes.
Yeah, she went to higher university. So, I mean, that's code switching. I mean, she grew up. No. I mean,
I see what you're saying. But I'm just saying, like, it's like, I mean, I've been around white people. You know what I'm saying? I've kicked it with white people. I mean, I've kicked it with other people. I mean, that isn't. I might have listened to some country music one time and liked the damn song, but I don't know. I mean, I just, you know, to me, that doesn't seem like
she performed in step shows.
Well, I'm going to say, to me,
okay.
Like I've seen her in multiple instances dancing when she's with her sister stepping. You can look all this up on YouTube too. Like when she's walking, there's one she's walking down the hall and they step in, she joins in on the step. So I don't think that was like something staged. I kind of think that's just who she is. But I think because you don't view her blackness as real blackness, you project that on it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you did see her in those other settings, you'd be like, oh, like he said, oh, to me, she's just doing what she did when she was at Howard. You know what I mean? And again, That's just me. But let's move on, man. Kamala Black, for everybody who wondering, she black. The World Series, a black woman.
In conclusion,
In conclusion, no matter what we try to say, that's a black woman, dog. And she got to. The crazy thing is, she got to face all the obstacles and the bullshit that a black woman have to face anyway.
so let me ask you a question. When she was asked the question, when she was, why do you think she just didn't answer straightforward? Like, yeah, of course I am. Like, why she when they asked her?
Well, she wasn't asked the question. She was asked the question in relation to what Donald Trump said. And I'll tell you a couple of things. One, she shouldn't have to explain her blackness to Donald Trump. That's bullshit. That's
not
she shouldn't have
years old, bro.
Yeah, she shouldn't have to prove her blackness.
I'm 60 years old. I am about to let you cross my damn blackness and answer to you. Like,
yeah, that's one. But in two, also,
right, to a white man, I got you.
But also, they know that Trump is trying to pull her into a race baiting conversation because that's something that's going to be good for Trump. It's for her to talk about race and her blackness. And he knows that if he can get her into a conversation about her race and her blackness, that's going to turn a lot of middle America off. And she needs to get middle America votes. If you don't remember, go back and watch the whole Obama campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Obama was not running around, and this is the mistake I think Hillary made. Obama was not running around saying, I'm going to be the first black president. You didn't hear that shit. Obama barely talked about race during his run because he didn't want to scare off middle America. Like, we have to run, black folks have to run a different way, especially when you're trying to win a presidential election. This ain't a senator race. This ain't, you know what I mean? This is the president. We have to run a certain specific way and say specific things to not scare off white America. That's why she had to have a super milquetoast white man as her vice presidential to make the rest of
a what white man?
Milquetoast. Like the whitest milquetoast white man you could get to run with her, so America could feel safe. Like, okay, we got a white man in the White House still. You understand what I'm saying? We have to run a different way. So that's one reason why she didn't, because he wants to get her into the race conversation. Because the race conversation is good for Donald Trump. The race conversation is not good for Kamala. The race conversation is good for Trump because it pumps up his base, right? But the race conversation ain't gonna do nothing but turn those swing states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, you know what I mean, where she needs to get a lot of majority white votes, that's going to turn them off. She needs those votes. So jumping into a race conversation with Donald Trump ain't going to help her. And again, like I said, you don't believe me? Go back and watch how Obama ran because he had the same issue. And the thing that turned a lot of people off was Hillary Clinton kept running around talking about, I'm going to be the first woman president. I'm going to be the first woman president. Turned a lot of people off, right? Scared a lot of white men off and even a lot of white women.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Like I had to educate myself because I didn't know. I have some friends that are from Guyana. There's a barber shop over there by USC, and he's Guyanese. I never heard him say he was Indian. I didn't know too much about the culture. I just looked it up, and like you said, I'd never heard the term Indo-Guyanese.
Yeah.
So, so I had no clue. I just thought it was an African continent. I'm thinking of India as in the India that's right next to the continent of Africa.
Yeah.
So, and Brian, I have to correct you on this. If you think when the police pull you over, if an Indian man is dark enough, when they fill out his race, if you don't think they'll put black, you completely mistaken.
I'm telling you, this is what an Indian store. Let me tell you something. When you go to these 7-Elevens in these stores, them type of Indians, when the police encounter those people, I promise you, I promise. Wait, you're a police, huh?
Yeah.
You said law enforcement. So you don't distinguish. Okay, maybe I can't ask you because you're a black person.
So I'm gonna tell you, they're gonna go into probably two stereotypes. Either if they dark enough, they'll put them down as black, or they would just discriminate them believing that they're Muslims when they actually not.
Are they? Listen, and hear me out. Is an Indian man as arrestable as me?
When getting pulled over, hell yeah.
Why did you have to distinguish between pulling over? Just in general, like an Indian man and me. When they hear him talk, and they hear me talk, they know I'm from America. They're gonna think, okay, typical black, right? They're gonna look at this guy.
Who's stopping you? Me or the white cop?
Educate me. Tell me the difference. What would be the difference in you pulling me over and an Indian and then a white man? How would it be handled differently? Because
and I won't say all white cops, but I would say me. I would my my decision would be completely based on the facts and what's going on in the situation.
Do you think
Whereas,
white officers think like you?
whereas somebody who come from a different culture, who is not, who say a Mayberry type of environment, he's gonna look at y'all the same way.
Okay, I've seen black store owners get their store robbed, and when they call the police make the mistake and come there and arrest them, right? That doesn't happen with Indians. They're gonna come there to protect their store because they pay taxes. They know this is their property. They know the difference between that Indian store owner and those black kids that ran in their store. They're not gonna mistake them the same way they mistake us. But there are when you just pile us up, yeah, you could say that.
I mean, but there's a situation where if that same Indian guy is walking somewhere and he drops a backpack and walks away from it, those same officers would probably come and think he's like probably a potential terrorist and still and racial profile him, just like that black store owner would get racial profile in that situation. I mean, they both get racial profile. That's the point I'm making.
Well, I mean, everybody's going to get racially profiled, but is there
not everybody get racially profiled?
well, if you're white and you don't get pulled over, you were profiled as a white person. You know, I mean, profiling is what we do. We profile people.
But I'm saying that you both gonna get profiled depending on the circumstances. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So and again, like I said, we're speaking as if Kamala is only Indian. She's not. She's Indian and Jamaican and had a black lived experience. And if you look at her hair be on bump. That's black woman hair. All right, let's move on.
He said on bump. Her hair be on bump. Nobody. That's funny.
We had some really big cultural losses this week, man. We lost Frankie Beverly, lead singer Frankie Beverly and Maze. We lost James Earl Jones, the voice of Mufasa and Darth Vader and many others, and we lost Tito Jackson. I'm talking about 3 big cultural losses. So I just want to take a moment to talk about them and their legacy, man, and what they meant to not only the masses, but specifically to the black culture. You know what I mean? Like Frankie Beverly, I think he's probably one of the biggest black artists that never went pop. Like one of the biggest, most well-known black artists that never crossed over, never went pop. But talking from a cultural standpoint, I think Frankie Beverly probably has one of the biggest impacts on black music, black barbecues, black
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say he's the barbecue guru for sure.
Barbecue goat, right? With all of his
the goat.
Family reunions.
Family reunion.
All day.
Yeah, so
we'll hear some Frankie for sure.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask y'all, maybe if y'all can tell me give me one of y'all favorite Frankie Beverly songs.
Before I let you go is like the first thing that pops in my head.
Yeah.
A feel-good song. You know, you might be in a bad mood. You hear that, you sip something, now you feel good, and you block out all the bullshit off that song.
What about you?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead.
No, I second that one. That one brings back a lot of memories. Like I've heard it since a kid. You know what I'm saying? So he's been there. I'm 47, so I've been hearing him virtually my whole life. You know what I mean? So
same. Timeless music. Timeless.
Yes.
What about you, Quincy?
For me, it's We Are One.
Bro, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
What is it called? Wait, hold on. What's that called? Educate me.
We Are One.
We Are One.
When you hear it, Brian, you're gonna be
one.
Yeah, when you hear it, you're gonna know you heard it.
I mean, just Frankie Beverly and Maze, man, just like as I got older and began to appreciate just pure musicianship, listen to Maze, the band, you can hear every instrument, everybody's clear, and then Frankie's voice just kind of just like it just was like it's like the icing on the cake on just legendary, man. Just
pure soul.
It's like when these artists like pass away, it's like another notch in your childhood. It's like damn, you know. And so like, you know, just his whole style, just cap on, you know, just sitting there chilling, just a whole vibe, man. So rest in peace to Frankie Beverly, man. Just You know, but yeah, We Are One is the song. Is my feel
Happy
good.
feelings. Happy
Yeah,
feelings.
Happy Feelings.
My jam is Golden Time of Day.
Man, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at that right now. Yeah.
Golden,
little
like I
song
said,
list.
so many records that I think a lot of people didn't realize was him. Like when you hear it, you're like, oh damn, that's Frankie Beverly. Because like you said, we know the big Before I Let Go hit. But if any of y'all spent any time with an uncle or at a black barbecue, you heard We Are One, you heard Golden Time of Day, you heard Joy and Pain. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So many records, you know what I'm saying, that's gotten to the black zeitgeist specifically.
Oh, We Are One. I had to hear it. I had to hear it, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like I told you, I said, once you hear it,
that's a barbecue song right there for sure. We Are One. That's the barbecue song for sure.
Bro. This man is disrespected because, like you said, my brain didn't associate. Wow, that's a cold one. We Are One is dope, bro.
Yeah, Dame hit it on the nail. He's saying, like, you know, we know a lot of songs, but we don't know who they are. We just know that we went through it, you know, whatever we went through, and we listened to it like it was part of our history. But it's like a lot of those songs, I don't know who sings them, but when I hear, okay, I know that song. You know what I mean? But tell me, oh, that's such and such.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I said if you spent any time barbecue, you probably heard most of the catalog and don't even know it.
You know but Before I Let Go will be played 100 years from now when we're gone.
Yeah.
And whatever black barbecue that's going on in 2085.
That's number one. That's number one on his top songs too. Before I Let Go, that's number one.
Will Camel be at that barbecue? I'm being stupid.
In 2085, we won't be there.
But yeah, so I think that was a big blow. And then on to next, Tito Jackson, man. That's, and it's crazy because even, when people get to like 74, 73, it still hurt. It still hit you in a way that you like you said, Quincy, it's a piece of your childhood, man. And Tito was one of the first founders of Jackson 5, which we all grew up on.
I mean, you could truly say the Jackson 5 doesn't exist if it wasn't for Tito being disobedient.
Yeah.
It was Joe had told Tito, don't touch
my guitar.
Tito was sneaking in there, playing the guitar till one day he broke a string, took that ass whooping. Joe told him to play and said, damn, you play better than me. And the group was the Tito said they was called the Brothers 3.
Right.
They was gonna be called the Brothers 3. Because Marlon and Mike was still young, and then when Mike's son got a talent show at 5, they went to a talent show after Brothers 5, and this woman was like, "Why don't I just be the Jackson 5?" But it all started with Tito, and it's crazy because when you hear those songs, like I've been playing a lot of just old Jackson 5 stuff. Like you like, damn, that's Tito on the guitar. I mean, that's Tito playing on all those songs. That's Tito, the lead guitar in those songs.
He went off on Dancing Machine. Oh my, is that Tito on that bass guitar? Is that him or Jermaine?
No, that's Jermaine.
Oh, okay,
Jermaine played the bass.
Okay, yeah, Jermaine was cold in my mind.
Jermaine played the bass.
Yeah, my pop said he said Tito is one of the most underrated guitar players of all time.
I heard. Is he better than Jermaine? I mean, okay, I know they play. Okay, I can't compare. I don't want to say anything stupid. You guys are music people. Who played the guitar? Both of those two played the guitar, right?
No, so Tito played guitar and Jermaine played bass.
The bass.
I think I'm a bass person or something. I like the basses. I be hearing it, even though the music be playing. I hear that bass line.
That's Jermaine.
Ooh,
but
they both cold. They both was cold.
They both cold. Jermaine is very underrated bass player.
Yeah, but yeah, man. And Tito, like a lot of people don't know, Tito was selling out. Like I'm talking about recently. Tito would go to London by himself and sell out the O2 Theater, which was where Michael Jackson was going to be for the This Is It tour. He would go sell that out by himself with his jazz band, his blues band. I'm sorry, Pop said his blues band.
Tito had a blues band.
Yeah, Tito had a blues band that was very well known, very well renowned. He made jazz blues albums, and he would go out there.
Music family, Hunter. Your family's a whole. You coming from a whole music family, Dan?
Yeah.
You got your dad over there pulling out. God dang, he's like, no, watch your mouth, boy. That's jazz.
Yeah, man. But
yeah,
Tito,
Oh yeah, like Pop said, his solo on Heartbreak Hotel. Sheesh.
Oh yeah.
That song was fire, bro.
Yeah.
Heartbreak Hotel is like one of those hidden gems for me, bro.
And low key, he
That's
had
Tito?
that's
that's
Tito.
Tito.
Low key, he had a dope solo on that the Jackson 5 song Torture when they went on their tour.
Oh God.
You remember Torture, Quincy, when they came back to Torture?
Yeah.
He had a cold solo on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything back then? The autopilot.
Oh yeah, man. That's all Tito. That's all Tito, man. And you know, and it's crazy because people used to always make jokes like, you know, I'm Michael, you Tito, but shit.
Right.
Like I said, we never know how great that family is if Tito ain't disobedient.
Yeah, look, and that was Eddie Murphy who started that. That's to show you how funny, how long a joke could hold. Yeah. Eddie Murphy said that joke in '84, and people still calling people Tito almost 50 years later.
Damn. But shit, Tito was solid on all those songs.
Yeah, man,
on all those songs. And then
we lost a young cat too, man. We lost Rich Homie Quan, man. 34 years old. Oh, sad. And it's funny again. Even when we talking about Frankie Beverly, when Rich Homie Quan died, and I was going through his catalog, I'm like, damn, I didn't know that was him. I didn't know that was him. Like, you know, there was a couple songs that I knew, you know what I mean, but my little cousin was playing all of them, and I was like, yo, Rich Homie Quan had a run. He had a cold run with a bunch of hits with his features, and it's just sad, man, when you lose somebody. He was 33, 34 years old.
Yeah, super young.
That's sad. And he talked about, I seen an interview where he talked about his struggles with drugs and his struggles with, you know, pills and stuff, man. It's just, you know, I feel for him and I feel for that culture because a lot of these kids get hooked on pills real early. You know what I mean? So they deal with stuff that we never had to even think about dealing with. Like, we just had to deal with who's gonna have the best weed. You know what I mean? Like, these kids are dealing with cocaine and pills when they in like high school. And now that fentanyl done got a hold of the shit. You know, that's
that shit.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing, man. And you know, so just, you know,
I don't even want that shit in the hospital.
Yeah, yeah.
Blow that shit up.
Yeah, shout out to Rich Homie Quan, though, man, and his family, and prayers up to them. And then, like you said, Quincy, man, we lost James Earl Jones, man. That was a big one.
Yeah, man.
That was a big one. And it's crazy because we lost James Earl Jones and Luke Gossett in the same year, man. Two giants. You talk about acting giants.
Like, shit.
Imagine your voice being iconic. Not your voice alone. That's crazy, bro.
On two separate movies. Like, he's like Darth Vader and Mufasa, but like those are like iconic characters.
Forever. Like, two iconic.
I wouldn't be surprised if they AI his voice and use him in the future.
You know what? I think they had some conversation. I'm not sure. I remember reading this though, but they was talking about before he died. They was talking about getting him so they could utilize his voice after he died.
They had to. They did that.
I did hear that Lucas, and this was before AI, so I'm sure with AI they probably did it. But I know Lucas was talking about trying to get him so they could use his vocals.
You know, Disney got some of that blood.
Because think about it, who else could you ever hear being Darth Vader? You know, with all these new Disney properties coming out, there's gonna be another Darth Vader sighting. Like, who else could you put in that place? You know what I mean? Like, his voice is so iconic. You hear it, you know who he is, man. Mm-hmm. And then even his comedic turning, Coming to America. You know what I mean? Like, you talk about just man. Like iconic roles. Wow. And then him and his turn in Fences when he was a younger guy. You know what I mean? Like, him as the part Denzel played in Fences. Like, man.
The first movie I saw him, man, you don't know if y'all remember this movie, was it was called Soul Man. It was about a white guy who put on black makeup to get into
in the 80s. Yeah. C. Thomas Howell. I remember that. C. Thomas Howell.
And James Earl Jones was his college professor.
Yep.
The first movie I saw that I can remember. I had to be about 6 or 7 back then. But yeah,
that's funny. But yeah, man, just we lost some icons in these past few weeks, and it felt like they came back to back. All right, so Go ahead, Pop.
I can't even see Claudine.
Anybody seen Claudine? That was when my pop turned me on to that one. It was the movie Claudine with him and Diane Carroll. If y'all haven't, check it out. It's a great movie. Great movie.
Diane Carroll. Is that a comedian lady?
No.
She was on Dynasty. She was like basically known one of the most beautiful black women of all time.
Oh wow.
Diane Carroll. Yeah.
Yeah, she just passed away within the last year, right?
Yep, she passed away last year, man. Yep.
Did it happen in threes? It happened in more than threes.
Okay, yeah. 1974. You know, I love them old black movies.
Well, Pop said you watch that, you get a little history about how he lived, because he really identifies that movie because he said that movie reminds him of his life growing up. Like it feels like he said James Earl Jones was his daddy and his uncles in that movie. And also it almost like if you watch it from when I watched it, it almost felt like the dramatic version of Good Times. Like Good Times if it was a dramatic movie. You know what I mean? That's what kind of like what the setup is. And now, you know, Quincy, I'm gonna let you talk about this case because you know what is Diddy, what is going on, bro? You think it's a wrap?
It ain't looking good though.
Hey, this is the officer. He grabbed his head, bro. He grabbed his head. Like, I don't know, bro.
Because here's the thing, man. They don't file RICO charges often, but when they do, they don't lose them.
Yep.
What's their conviction rate? 95%?
98.
Yeah.
Might drop down to 95 since Michael Jackson, but it was 98.
Michael's the only person. I just told. Is Michael the only person to beat a federal charge like that?
One of the few. One of the very few.
I love how Candace Owens defended him recently and broke it down that, you know what I'm saying? If the feds had found something on Michael, you better believe.
Oh man, don't let me get into that case. We'll end up on here another hour. I got a lot of shit about that case but yeah,
it was fucking with Mike, huh?
Yeah, Diddy, man, shit. You know, I'm a I gotta say this though, man. I wrote a post about it. It's disappointing, man. I understand. I see like an era when you think about Suge and Death Row, Diddy and Bad Boy and R. Kelly. That's an era of music that's in prison.
Just the three of them.
Just the three of them.
The 90s. Literally, the 90s is in jail.
Then the 90s are in jail. 90s music is in jail.
Yep.
And when it's so heartbroken. I'm so hard because it's like you brothers was there.
Yeah.
And here you are in your mid-50s. You got two pretty much gonna end up dying in jail. And Diddy, you about to fight for your life. And all in mid-50s. And it's crazy because they was there. It's like Suge should be sitting on billions now. You had Tupac, DJ Quick, Dre, and Snoop. You should be sitting.
He had DJ Quick?
Yeah.
What?
You have at the same time. He had all of them at the same time. He should be sitting on billions.
I didn't know that.
R. Kelly.
I'm a DJ Quick fan.
Yeah. R. Kelly should be with the hits he made, but even just based off the hits he wrote for other people, should be sitting on billions. Diddy should be sitting on billions, and like these dudes are like
in baby oil stock, and Johnson & Johnson stock, nigga.
And it's like, you know what the damning I think what's going to get them in trouble is what's on those videos.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they like to do, what the feds are really good at, is like, so they might hit some people. Don't be surprised you hear some people that's going to be charged as co-conspirators.
If they don't kill Puffy, it's a lot of people going down.
And out of those charges, what the feds like to do, especially in RICO cases, let's take for instance John Gotti. There's a reason why Sammy the Bull out and John Gotti died in jail. So if you could charge those co-conspirators and make them flip against Diddy, he's cooked. He's gonna be cooked. Like I don't like and Diddy do a dumb shit. Like you have enough money to afford a legal AR-15. Why you got illegal AR-15s with the serial numbers correct? That's dumb shit.
Because when you kill
It's
Tupac, you
literally-
don't want no traces.
But you can have a legal AR-15. There's a legal way that you can afford. You can get a license. There's no reason why Diddy. It's not like Diddy got a felony. Does Diddy have a felony conviction I don't know about?
It's funny you say that, right? Now you have a very straight wire mind. How long you been in law enforcement?
I was in law enforcement for 5 years. I'm not in no more.
Oh, okay. I was gonna come with a narrow-minded view because in my mind you sound like a very straight wire person. Because like if I'm legitimate, right, but I'm dealing on the streets with illegitimate shit and people are taking my falls, he's got to have something that doesn't trace back to him that he can.
Well, even if he do, why would he have it? Like, nigga, yeah, I get what you're saying, but why then you pay a street nigga to hold that? Like, why would you have it? That's just not, you know what I'm saying? That's just not smart. Like, why would just like with the Mike Vick shit? I used to be like, Mike Vick should have had like one homeboy. Like, if this shit go down, you just take the fall. We'll take care of you and your family. There's no way Mike Vick should have went to jail.
After getting away with murder for so long, he probably had a false sense of security. And you got to think about it, with them Diddy parties, right? If you had a mansion party, right? I think I'm a Scorpio, and my girl always tries to compare me to every bad Scorpio in the goddamn, in the world. She's like, so it's like, with that kind of thinking, he's like, if somebody get to tripping at one of these parties, I may have to lay a motherfucker out, then throw something on somebody else.
What? You could do that with a legal firearm, and nobody stop you from being.
But it's not gonna make it difficult to beat the case if everything traces back to you. Look what he did to Sean, right?
Huh?
Like, the situation. Okay, I want to make sure I'm saying this right. What happened with Shine that got Shine put in jail? That Puffy did that got Shine put in jail. Was it stabbing or shooting someone?
It was a shooting, but Shine took that fall.
Yeah.
Whose gun was that?
We don't know, but from what I remember, that was Johnny Cocker's last case. So Johnny Cocker gone, dog.
That hurts.
Johnny Cocker gone.
And
So
Johnny walking through that door.
I mean, just like it's like, why are you kidnapping women and you work the bill? You don't have to kidnap.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
It's just unnecessary shit. Just to like, I don't know.
I can tell y'all. I can explain to y'all, man.
Did the narcissism just kick in?
Yes.
No, you know what? It's that, but also I've learned that people in the entertainment industry, when they do certain stuff, it's not about logic. It's about power. It's about the power to do certain stuff. Like there was
he could have did it another way. They go
no, but I'm just telling you why they.
He don't want them to give it to him. He want to take it.
There you go. It's about that power, and that's why they do it, because it's not about. Yeah, they know they can have any woman they want. So what would that make them want? The woman that they can't have, or the woman that don't want them.
I get that logic.
So
that's what the whole gay stuff is about.
A lot of that too. I was going to say that. I was trying to hold back, but yes.
Wait, what happened?
There's some dudes in the industry who do gay stuff with other dudes for the power. Like, it's the power of being over to take over another man.
Where, like, I don't even know how to speak on that type of shit, man. I don't even want to speculate on the psychology of that type of.
Really, that's some throwback slave shit.
No, it is.
The slave owners used to emasculate black men in front of their wives, doing gay shit to them as a show of power.
Is that the buck breaking or is that the whooping? Is it which?
The buck breaking. That's buck breaking.
Yeah.
But so what I'm saying is, for those dudes who are that rich and have access to anything, for them to get a thrill, they start wanting to do shit they're not supposed to do.
I like Mayweather's kind of rich, right? I like his mentality. He's a dumb, he may be a dumb motherfucker, but bro, he's in his mansion with a bunch of women, and it's like you get the trip and you leave, ain't no party. He kind of keeps it real low key, bro. When you got that type of money, Puff Daddy was losing his motherfucking mind, bro.
And to go to Dane's point, part of the charges is him having videos to blackmail people.
Yeah,
that's a Hollywood thing.
To control. That's why I say we're gonna find out. It's gonna be some people on them videos.
Oh, it's gonna be a lot. Let me tell y'all, from what I'm hearing so far. Let me see what I could say.
Oh, don't do that, Dame. It's just why
No,
can't
I can't. You know, I can't just divulge everything. But what I say is, some of the people who look like victims right now might not look like victims by the end of this.
Is
Oh,
Mary
yeah.
J. Blige? Mary J. Blige.
But based on some of the videos, right? Some of the people who seem to look like victims right now may not look like victims at the end of this. I can say that.
I believe that.
And I can also say you might be surprised by some of the names that's gonna come out. Because you know, when stuff go in court, it's gonna be public.
Yeah.
Is it possible he could get off? Is it even possible?
No, I don't think he's getting off.
Well, man,
I see a small.
Like he would have to have everybody that they turn to testify on him. Everybody down there would have to renege and be like, nah.
He would have to. You know what? I gotta see the rest of the evidence because depending on the evidence, you could see how the defense could try to form some type of reasonable doubt.
Right.
So until we see the evidence and kind of see where the possible reasonable doubt, because even like I thought about like, you know, Cassie is probably gonna be a star witness, right?
Wait a minute. Wait, quick question. If how can she, if she signed the feds is different. If she had to sign something to get that settlement, isn't it against the?
No, not criminal. Not
criminal.
against criminal stuff.
The NDA, you can break an NDA. The FBI don't give a damn about an NDA.
Yeah, they don't care about not when it's criminal. That shit don't matter.
The FBI don't give a damn about no NDA, bro. That's over.
So I was thinking like maybe like he could say like, look, Cassie participated in this behavior too, right? Let's say that's a defense that they could use, right? Well, she could also come back. Well, y'all saw the video. If I didn't do it,
this is
you
what
would
was going
beat
to
the
happen.
hell out of me.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that Mary J. Blige situation that just that happened with that? Where they heard her on they have footage of. I mean, I don't know if it's the sound bit or it's actual footage. I haven't seen it yet. But Mary J. Blige and Puffy and a victim, and then at the end of this situation, Mary J. Blige was like, "That was my rites of passage, right?" And they were like, "Oh my God, Mary." And then somebody was like, well, shoot, she said that like a victim. Somebody was like, no, she said that like she was a witch. So it was like,
listen, that's what I said. It's a lot is about to come out.
This is going to be some nasty work right here.
Yeah. The fact that the police came out the first day and was like, we got videos of what he called freak offs, brother in trouble.
Bro, I'm looking at this man who's in law enforcement, who used to be in law enforcement. I'm looking at his face. I'm scared for Puffy off this man's face. His whole demeanor changed when we got on this topic. He went like, he's getting anxiety. You got anxiety right now on this topic because you feel sorry.
Well, you know what? I feel sorry for his kids because they just lost their mother 5-6 years ago. And, you know, his daughter's just a senior in high school. And the possibility that they just lost their mother and they could potentially lose their father to something like heinous as like sex trafficking and having a prostitution ring. You got daughters. Well, he got 4 daughters.
Yeah.
But the twins and Justin, you know, those were Kim Porter kids. So to be on the verge of the possibility, I feel bad for them. And shame on Diddy for putting himself in this situation, knowing that he's his kids, you know, those kids only parent that's left.
Yeah.
You know,
bro, when they said he was in court and they denied him that $50 million bail that he begged, and he looked back at his son and did like this, you know what makes me mad? I do not like Puff Daddy. Never did. I'm a West Coast. Where are you? What's? I'm not banging. Where are you from, Quincy? What side? What coast?
I'm from LA.
Okay, so I'm and Dame, you are too. You from over here, right? So you got to remember, I'm from that, you know, that Suge Knight getting up on stage. If you don't want the producers all in your, I've never liked Puffy. I've never liked him ever. I don't like what he did to Mace. I don't like what he did to Big. I don't like what he. So it's like I find it fucked up that I even have empathy for the man, because I actually verbally said I can't wait till they catch him. I've been saying this for over 10 years. I've been wondering why nobody knew it was obvious that he was gay, and I was wondering why he was able to get away with shit. And I just, after a while, I was like, oh, he's untouchable. Nothing's good. Right when I gave up and said that man could do anything he want, they kicked his door in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I almost don't care because to me, he's a little too vicious. He's a little too vicious.
Well, I think he did what Quincy was talking about early. He thought he could white man just as much as a white man, and you can't.
He thought he was a white man more than a white man.
He thought he could white man just as much as a white man.
But and Dave, no, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That's not my deal. But did he piss somebody off?
Oh no, he pissed somebody off. That ain't no conspiracy.
Listen,
bro.
You can't get away with dirt this long, and all of a sudden your protection is gone.
It's gone.
Pissed somebody off high.
And I tried to. I did just a little bit of digging. I don't know who owns Ciroc, but they worked a lot, and it seemed like when he filed that racial lawsuit against
that's when
Ciroc,
everything started changing.
That's when it flipped.
Period. Bingo. There you go, Quincy.
Don't call it a conspiracy. That's called connecting the dots, bro. That's connecting the fucking dots.
Yeah. Because Pop said he bit the hand that feed him, and like you said, when there's a like, look, you could be a billionaire, and then there are billions. Like Axel on Billions, the show. You know what I mean? Like there's like I got a couple billion, and then there's billions. There's a difference, and you can't piss them folks with billions off when you got a billion. You can't. You know what I mean? And
is Jay-Z next?
That's what people saying, but I don't know. I think Jay-Z got his shit on lock a little more.
Yeah. Beyonce know how to keep him clean, boy.
Yeah.
Beyonce know how to keep him clean.
I think his shit is a little more unlocked than like as much as people be want. Like you think about it, how long him and Beyonce been together? Shit, almost 20 years now.
I think she the reason he separated from Dame.
Yeah.
I think she was like, look, he ain't good for business. You need.
He was already cutting. He was already. I mean, like, okay, I don't want to because I kind of start. I used to like Jay-Z's music, but I like the Dipset. Right? Anybody like Dipset back in the day?
Hell no.
Oh, okay, I like Dipset. So I didn't like what he did to Cameron. I just so happened to like them at the time. And the move is like that's like your group, right? Remember I asked you the last time, the first show I came on about your group, and was there ever any difficulty with you guys? I can't see you making a move like that against your people. I can't see none of your people in your group.
Well, just to give you a little more context, though, the thing with, and this goes to what Quincy was saying about Dame being bad for business. Dame started moving like he was bigger than Jay, and Dame started doing shit like Cameron dissed Dame. Cameron dissed Jay, been dissing Jay for years, and then when Jay is on vacation, you're gonna sign him to Rockefeller and put Dipset in the Rockefeller office without talking to Jay. That was like the beginning of the end right there. That was like, you can't think you bigger because Dane started to think he was bigger than Jay. He thought he was bigger than The Rock at that point. You know what I mean?
But he started it.
Yeah, but he started. It don't matter if he started it. Who's the star? Who's your superstar?
Now, see that's one of them things where if you was in that situation, Dame, imagine how you feel about your baby when you start something from the beginning. And it's like, obviously, I feel sorry for Dame right now.
Yeah, but also, if I'm with my partner, I'm not going to bring in somebody who disses my partner and get him an office in there with us without a conversation with him.
Not my money. Not my money. That's my money maker. That's my platinum artist.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a hip hop head like that, but I'm assuming Cameron is nowhere near Jay-Z level when it comes to record sales and things of that nature as far as making money.
As a person who likes to listen to the music, sometimes like I'm not concerned about the sales, right? Like I'm not like, I like those little small artists sometimes that nobody knows about and they might not have a buzz, but you kind of like them. You see, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not just like, okay, Jay-Z's a very powerful cat, does good music and everything, but it's like sometimes you like that underdog mentality. Like, okay, let the underdog win sometimes. And Cameron,
I get that. But like I said, at that time though, Jay the biggest artist in the world. You don't cross the biggest artist in the world at that time to try to prove a point that you bigger than him. Like that was like you just can't. Like much as Dame was running the business, all that, you're not bigger than Jay. Rockefeller ain't what it is. Yeah, that happens. I think if you put your thumb up. He was confused.
Bro, that fucked me right up. What the fuck?
But yeah, man. So it's gonna be interesting to watch, and of course, we're gonna be keeping an eye on it. And before we get out of here, I want to say shout out to Angela Bassett, man. After all these years, she won her first Emmy, which is crazy to me. Angela Bassett just won her first Emmy. And it wasn't even for her TV show 911 and like that. She narrated a Nat Geo special. That's what she won the Emmy for. Narrating a Nat Geo special. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, man. And she don't
Angela
age.
put in work, man. Angela done put in work.
Well,
I love that woman. I love that woman. That's my favorite black woman in Hollywood.
Well, she should have run an Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with it, but that's my opinion.
And Black Panther.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Black Panther. Yeah.
Yep.
Why Black Panther?
Bro, her performance in Black Panther to me was not even the performance that belonged in a comic book movie.
The second one?
Yeah, that's the one she got nominated for.
Okay, what's going on?
Yeah, the second one, the one she got nominated for, I think she should have won. Because when I say she gave a performance that's like she was in a different movie than everybody else. Like when you want to do it, ain't gonna do it. But yeah, when I felt like she was in a different movie than everybody else, when she was giving such a like heavy weighted performance, I think she deserved it. And I forgot who she lost to, but who she lost to, I wasn't mad at it because of who she lost to. I think it was like a good performance as well. No. I think she lost to Jamie Lee Curtis for everything everywhere all at once. I think that's what she lost.
I thought she was about to say Halloween.
Nigga.
I'm like, Jamie Lee Curtis, I only know her for Halloween. And
I think it was Jamie Lee Curtis. If I'm not mistaken, I'll look it up. But
that's the only Jamie Lee Curtis movie I know. I thought he was about to say Halloween. I was like, you.
But she definitely should have won for What's Love Got to Do with it too. But you know, back then they really wasn't giving black folks Oscars.
And shit, she played the hell out of Catherine Jackson.
Yeah, she should have won an Emmy for that. Like she didn't win an Emmy for American Dream, for the Jackson 5 American Dream.
Wow.
She should have won an Emmy for that. That's what I'm saying. Like for this to be her first Emmy is crazy, but I'm glad she finally got it. She deserved it.
They always do that. They always like wait till like it's not the movie they should have run it for. Like like give her.
I they did the Denzel. What did Denzel get one right?
The Training Day. His first one was Training Day.
And tell you the truth, I thought John Q was better than Training Day.
For the acting, yeah.
Yeah, I thought John Q.
But you know what? I think they gave it to for Training Day too, though. I think that's one of the first times you saw Denzel actually become a totally different character.
Oh, Billy, yeah.
Because Lonzo wasn't your average Denzel acting.
No, he wasn't.
Because usually Denzel get to play himself, just be a cool ass nigga.
Fucking chart.
Yeah.
Lonzo
was a different. Like I had never seen Denzel like that. Like Lonzo was a different dude.
But they always like wait till like I'm surprised they didn't like give her an Oscar for like Vampire in Brooklyn or some shit.
Yeah, like the wrong movie.
Like the wrong movie. Like Halle Berry, like they get like Monsters Ball. That was not the movie to give her a fucking Oscar for.
Yeah, I agree.
Didn't she also get what was that movie that she was in with Billy Bob Thornton? Didn't she get
that's
Monsters Ball?
Matter of fact,
that was the name of it.
She should have got it for Losing Isaiah. Was it Losing Isaiah?
Hold up. The idea of Monsters Ball wasn't Diddy her boyfriend on death row?
Oh shit, he was in Monsters Ball. He sure was.
Yeah,
he sure was.
Diddy was in prison on Monster Ball.
He sure was.
Damn. Like that,
damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank everybody for joining us. This was a great show, man. Thank you, Q, for joining us. Brian, hey, it was good.
Thank you for allowing a heathen.
Yeah, hey, good spirited conversation, man. I like it, man.
Hey, bro, where you get that fake ass living room from? I need that.
Fake ass living room. It's on here. It's the same place you got that fake ass brick wall. I saw you with the brick wall.
I didn't see that. I just saw the damn brick.
I saw the brick wall and was like, "Where the
I
fuck?"
would have picked the living room.
I mean, I went right up in there looking for the brick wall to get rid of my fucking living room, and I saw that and was like, "That's kind of nice. Let me go ahead and."
Oh, there I go. Oh shit!
They got a grand piano in the background.
Oh, there I go.
Hey, now it ain't special no more.
Hey, we got the same
crib living room from, nigga. Like, before I get off this live, I need to know, nigga. You need to tell me now, nigga. Don't got me fucked up, nigga. Lock your ass up.
All right.
Hey, man, it was a great show, man. Hopefully, y'all can join again.
When Brian first came out, like, damn, this nigga living room is cold. Yeah, I started to look down like, oh shit, that's the
Hey, I was like, what kind of fucking mental institution is this nigga standing in front of, right? But then there was two people with brick walls. I was trying to figure this shit out. While y'all was talking, I'm in the settings, like, what the fuck is they doing, right? Oh, virtual background, got him. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, this nigga living room is cold. I was
Nice.
like, oh shit.
You know, how is it daytime at the night in that nigga spot? Fuck that nigga. He got fucking ceiling lights and shit. It ain't too far from the real thing, you know. Don't get it fucked up. It's very close to my real living room. Don't get it fucked up, bro. Ignore them roaches. Ignore them.
Y'all stupid. Hey man, I'm gonna get y'all back on next week, man. Till next
Love,
time.
peace,
This
and
been
every.
Wild
Nice
Wild
talking to you,
Thoughts.
Quincy. Nice talking to you, Dan.
All right,
Love,
peace
and
out,
every.
man.
All right, man.
We gonna battle
Wait, what you say?
we gonna battle on a piano.
Yeah. All right, y'all.
We got a piano battle.